Lonnie Smith striding up to home plate, and we are ready to play it. Smiley on top of the hill. Game 7 about to get underway, and here with the play-by-play story once again is Don Sutton.
All right, Dave. Smiley, glove in front of the Pirate. Letters across the front, rocks into the line. The first one, Lonnie, up and away. A ball and no strikes, and we're underway in Game 7. For the Pirates, their 8th time they have been in a league championship series. That tops all National League clubs. For the Braves, their 3rd. The 1-0 from Smiley fouls straight back. A fastball on the fist. It's 1-1. The Pirates' 2nd consecutive year. They were here last year. Came up empty. Back again this year. The Braves, it's the 6 games this year, as many as they played in the other 2. A ball and a strike to Lonnie Smith. Close stance, feet close together. The wind by Smiley, a changeup. Lonnie way out in front. It's 1-2. 6 out of 21 in the series. Lonnie has 3 doubles. He scored a pair of runs. Smiley has him 1-2. Nods yes to LaValliere. The pitch on its way. High with the fastball. It's 2-2. Lonnie 0 for 1 the last time he faced Smiley. In his career, 5 out of 14. 2 balls, 2 strikes. They shade Lonnie a little bit toward right field. Van Slyke a couple of steps toward right center. Lean deep in around at second. The fastball is high. It's 3-2. In their 8th league championship series, the Pirates, this is their 35th game. Nobody in the National League has as many. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Lonnie Smith. The wind, the pitch, ball 4. So the Braves get it off to a good start. Lonnie leads it off with a walk. He's at first. And here's Terry Pendleton. Pendleton could use a base hit. If you look up and down the lineups of these 2 ball clubs, Pendleton, Justice, Gant. Gant does have the 6 stolen bases and a couple of RBIs. Flip-flop over to Bonilla, Van Slyke, and Bonds. The 6 big bombers have been relatively quiet in the first 6 games. Pendleton slightly open stance, batting from the right side. Smiley is set to look to first. The pitch to Pendleton. Fastball in there, strike 1. Terry, 4 out of 25 in the first 6. A double, a triple, and 1 RBI. If you're wondering if Lonnie Smith might run here, yes, he might. He's attempted 3. He's been successful once. But during the season, first the pitch to Pendleton. Hit on the ground just outside of first. It's 0-2. Terry took a shot toward right field. During the season, John Smiley of the Pittsburgh Pirates was the easiest to steal on. Base runners attempted 34. They were successful 26 times. So if Bobby Cox wants to play a running game, even though Smiley is a left-hander, he has the right guy out there. No balls and 2 strikes to Pendleton. Lonnie the lead off, 1 foot out on the turf. Pendleton up a notch on the bat handle, crouches a little. The 0-2 on its way. Hit on the ground, right to Merced, but just foul. So even with 2 strikes, Terry Pendleton taking a shot toward the right side.
Nothing changes for Terry. Broke his bat. He'll get a new one. Nothing changes even though he's slumping in the series. As you pointed out, only 4 hits in the first 6 games. But he's still trying to do the little things he did to help this ball club win. He's going to give himself up there, hit it to the right side. And if he can get it by Merced, gets a run in, has himself a double. But nothing changes for him in theory.
What a great year. We mentioned Bobby Cox being named manager of the year. What a great way to cap a season it would be for Terry Pendleton. Coming down as a free agent, led the league in hitting, led the league in hits. If he could take them to the series. Smiley goes to first, but the move didn't fool Lonnie Smith. He was back in plenty of time. Jimmy Williams, a new set of signs for Lonnie. Pendleton staring intently down at the Braves' third base coach. Once again, Pat Corrales is over at first base. Just underway from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. The series tied at 3. Smiley is set. The 0-2 to Pendleton. Fastball foul straight back. It's still no balls and 2 strikes. Pendleton broke a long drought for Braves hitters. You have to go all the way back to 1974 to find a Brave who won the batting title. That was Ralph Garr. You also have to go back to 74 to find the Brave who led the league in hits. Also Ralph Garr. 21 home homers during the season, a career high. No balls and 2 strikes. The pitch by Smiley misses inside at the kneecaps. It's 1-2. And as you might expect, a quite partisan crowd, Pirate rooters, assisting Doug Harvey with the call. Let me echo your sentiments, too, Dave. I think that this umpiring crew has done a marvelous job, and it's about time they started selecting the umpires for a series like this on merit, and that's how these got here. A ball and 2 strikes to Pendleton. The pitch from Smiley in the dirt, blocked by LaValliere. No advance by Lonnie Smith. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, we know that these 6 umpires for 1991 were the best in the National League, and I think it makes a difference. And I know a lot of Braves fans are very emotional about the missed play at third, David Justice missing the bag, and a couple of other plays. You watch those replays. For the most part, the umpires have been absolutely perfect, and I can't fault Frank Pulley for missing that call at third base on David Justice.
It was the right call with the information he had to judge it on. The count even, 2-2. Smiley goes to first. Lonnie back easily. Ronnie Gant waits on deck. It was Gant who got it started last night. The walk, the steal of second, then he rode home on Olson's double. Lonnie all the way out on the AstroTurf. Smiley will go over there, but his move is not fooling anyone. Anytime teams are as successful stealing as they have been against John Smiley, something glaring has to be evident in the delivery that allows you to pick it up. Normally, if you can hold base runners 40% of the time, you've done a good job. They're successful over 70 against Smiley. The pitch to Pendleton. Back up the middle, past the diving lean into center field. Here comes Lonnie rounding the bag at second. He'll cruise into third. It's a base hit for Pendleton. There are Braves at the corners.
Well, finally, an infielder for the Pirates can't make a great play. And Lind is holding looks like his left hip a little bit, which is where he came down as he dove for that play. But finally, he doesn't make a great play, and one dribbles through. Maybe good luck for the Braves tonight.
And Lind is definitely hurting. He's bending over trying to catch his breath at second. He dove for that. Looked like he landed right on the left hip. I think in football you call that a hip pointer. But he's not 100%. Pendleton was taking a shot toward right field and got one up the middle. Well, a chance for the Braves to get on the board first here in the first inning. Lonnie's at third, Terry's at first, and here's Ron Gant. And already the Pirate bullpen starting to move around. Bob Walk is warming up in a hurry, and he is being joined by left-hander Randy Tomlin. Here's Gant, 1 out of 2 the last time he faced Smiley. The lefty's pitch, curveball misses low. It's 1-0. Gant for his career, 5 out of 21. He's hitting .250 for the series. He scored 3 as a double, a homer, and 2 RBIs. But the one number that jumps off the boards at you, Ron Gant has 6 stolen bases. He's a perfect 6 for 6. The 1-0 from Smiley. Changeup misses low. It's 2-0. Unlike Game 3, Smiley got the first 2 very easily. He struck out Smith, then got Pendleton to ground to second. Then the Braves struck for 3 consecutive doubles and a homer. Here tonight, the first 2 have gotten on, and he's fallen behind 2-0 to Gant. The pitch to Ron. Swung on, popped right side, over near the Pirate dugout, back up in the stands. Merced gives it a look. It's 2-1.
You go back to Game 3 when the Braves rocked Smiley. He's now surrendered 6 hits in 2 official innings. He's also walked a man, given up a base hit here. So I've got to believe Jimmy Leyland will not wait long. It'll be a real quick hook. If Gant gets a base hit here, maybe he'll wait on David Justice because he's a left-hand hitter, but I really don't think so.
Down in the bullpen, the Pirate bullpen coach has flashed the universal sign, the raised cap. Walk and Tomlin are both ready. It's 2-1 to Gant. Smith off third, Pendleton off first. The pitch to Ron. Foul straight back. It's 2-2. Gant off to his normal slow start, maybe a little bit slower than usual this year. Ron hitting somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 as May ended. Ended up with 100 runs scored, over 100 RBIs. Over 30 homers, over 30 steals. Another good offensive year for the Braves center fielder. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pirate infield back. The pitch to Gant. Inside. Almost got him with the fastball. It's 3-2. Let's see if Bobby Cox starts up the merry-go-round with Terry Pendleton. Jimmy Williams running through signs. Gant staring down. Pendleton having a look. Corrales up. Has a word with Pendleton at first. The runners take their lead. Off third, off first. Smiley nods yes to LaValliere. The lefty is set. The pitch to Gant. There goes Pendleton. Down the left field line. Fairly deep. Bonds back to the wall. He's got it. Lonnie Smith tags at third. He'll stroll in with the first run of the night. Pendleton goes back to first. The Braves are on the board.
And that ball was not exactly a cheap little fly either. And Ray Miller, seeing that, the Pirate pitching coach, comes marching out to the hill. Ronnie Gant was certainly not fooled. He hit that ball about 330 feet. The ballpark just did hold it. And a run in. And what a great lift for the Braves after all of those innings. Without scoring a run, they're on the board in the very first frame tonight. That's going to make them feel great.
And for Ron Gant, his 3rd RBI of the series. Greg Olson leads the ball club. He has 4. And, Dave, you cover a number of sports, basketball, football, and baseball. How important is it universally to get that first one up on the board?
Oh, for the Atlanta Braves, given all the scoring opportunities that have gone by the wayside in this series, it's golden to be able to get on the board first. And they all said so before the game. Ronnie said last night, in fact, after the press conference, he said, you know, if we get on the board first tomorrow, we're going to win that game. And if we can get 2 or 3 early, I think the ball game is over.
Well, the first part of the equation is in order. Here's David Justice. Pendleton still at first. Justice 1 for 1 the last time he faced Smiley. His first one is a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Career, David, 2 out of 6 against Justice. He's 5 out of 22 for the league championship series. He scored 4 runs. That leads the Braves. A double, a homer, and 2 RBIs. His eyes were gleaming last night when he said, finally, I get to face a lefty. The next one misses low. It's 1-1. Normally, you would think that would be kind of weird coming from a left-handed hitter, but not if you know David Justice. For some amazing reason, this young outfielder seems to stand in more comfortably and hit better against left-handed pitching. Smiley is set. Pendleton off first. The 1-1 to Justice. Outside with the fastball. It's 2-1. And as we sit here and watch John Smiley, it's not the free-throwing left-hander who won 20 games for the Pirates during the season. It's almost like watching a dart thrower trying to nip the outside corner with every pitch. Not the same lively fastball we saw during the regular season. Bends at the waist, has a sign he likes. Now he's set. The pitch to Justice. Swing and a miss, foul. And it's 2-2.
Smiley got a pitch up there. I think David would love to have that swing back. He left one a little bit high around the letters, and David just got a great rip on it, but just fouled it back.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Smiley working quickly. He is set. The pitch to Justice. Swing and a miss. Got him with the breaking ball. So Smiley rebounds, makes 3 good pitches to Justice. That'll take care of David. 2 outs, and here's Brian Hunter. Lonnie Smith led it off with a walk. Pendleton singled him to third. Gant the sacrifice fly to deep left field. Smiley has struck out Justice. And if the Braves are going to tack any more on, they'll have to do it with 2 outs. The last time they faced Smiley, that's how they did all the scoring, with 2 outs. Hunter 1 for 1 in that ball game. He was 1 for 6 prior to that against John Smiley. The set, the pitch to Hunter, deep to left field. If it's fair, it is way out of here. Touch 'em all, Brian Hunter. Braves lead it 3-0.
Well, as you said, Don, the only question is Brian rounds third. Is it going to be fair? And it was fair. We had to wait for the umpire, Bob Davidson, but when he said it's gone, Look at the reception for Brian Hunter right in front of the Atlanta dugout now. Everyone high-fiving and slapping each other. The Braves in front 3-0 in the first inning.
And here's Greg Olson. The Braves last time put a 4 spot on the board in the first inning. They already have 3. And here's the guy who did most of the damage last time against John Smiley. The lefty winds, drops a curveball in at the knees. It's 0-1. Olson was 1 for 1 against Smiley in Game 3. He had a 2-run homer. He is 3 for 5 career. The wind by Smiley, the pitch to Olson. Hit on the ground toward the hole, past a diving Buechele. It's a base hit for Olson, and the Braves keep the inning going. And Mark Lemke will be the 7th hitter sent up here in the top half of the first inning. And that may be all for John Smiley. Jim Leyland is coming out of the dugout, and he is striding resolutely to the mound. Purposefully, you might say. This is not a social call. He's there. He's asked for the ball.
And that is it for John Smiley. The Braves shelled him in Atlanta in the first inning, and he is truly shell-shocked, and so are the fans in Pittsburgh, as Leyland quickly makes the move to the bullpen. So, as the Pirates get relief by calling on a new pitcher, you can get relief from the weather by calling your good sense specialist. Jim Leyland is going to make a pitching change, and the new pitcher is Bob Walk.
While we collect ourselves and allow you to massage your tomahawk elbow, let's pause for station identification. This is the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Waffle House, open 24 hours every day. Stop by your neighborhood Waffle House today for the friendliest service in town. Waffle House says, Tomahawk 'em Braves. AM 750 WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
It's a long way to the bottom of the ninth, but if you polled both dugouts before the game started, I think they would have been unanimous in that it was advantageous to get the early lead. Well, the Braves have it. Still only 2 outs here in the top of the third. Braves with 3 runs and 3 hits. Greg Olson, who got the 3rd hit of the inning, is at first base. Bob Walk has completed his warm-up tosses, and Mark Lemke will stand in the left-handed batter's box. Lemke, who made September a good month for him, getting to play more, as Jeff Treadway wasn't 100%. He had a 9-game hitting streak. He finished the year 13 out of his last 49 at .265, and he has been a wizard at second base during the playoffs. Olson off first, walked the right-hander, set at the waist, his first one to Lemke. Breaking ball swung out and missed by Mark. It's 0-1. Lemke has started every game but one. Jeff Treadway got the start last night. He's 4 out of 17. He scored 1. He has a double and an RBI. Medium depth in the batter's box, slightly open stance. Walk's pitch, hit on the ground, up the middle. Bell is there. He'll step on second to force a sliding Olson. And that'll put it into the first inning for the Braves. But not before they get on the board first. Brian Hunter's 2-run homer, the big blow. Pirates coming up, trail it 3-0. Braves lead at 3-0. Pirates will send up Merced Bell and Ben Slyke. With the Pirates and the Braves being in the League Championship Series or any postseason play, you look at a rich tradition of 2 ball clubs. As you look around the outfield wall here at Three Rivers Stadiums, the names and the numbers of Ralph Kiner, Willie Stargell, Pie Traynor, Hannes Wagner, Bill Mazeroski, Danny Murtaugh, Roberto Clemente. A lot of Hall of Famers and a great tradition. When you run down the list for the Braves, Hank Aaron, Earl Averill, some other names that stopped here: Burley Grimes, Billy Herman, Rogers Hornsby, Al Lopez, Gaylord Perry. Babe Ruth even made a brief stop with the Braves. Red Schoendienst, Warren Spahn, and soon Phil Niekro. So there is a arm's length of tradition with 2 very good ball clubs. Right now the Braves lead at 3-0, and John Smoltz first one to Orlando Merced. Fastball at the knees on the corner, strike 1. If you believe in history and you'd like to see it repeat itself, Probably you might be thinking, well, if he gave up a home run to Merced, we're home free. John's not thinking that way. Curveball, tried to check his swing, did Merced, went around very quickly. It's 0-2. With all the lefties being run out there by Bobby Cox and the Braves, this is only Merced's second start. He's 1 out of 5. He's scored 1. He's driven 1 home. He has a solo homer. Fastball up the middle, base hit. Orlando Merced got an 0-2 fastball right down the middle, and it almost dehorned John Smoltz with a line drive up the middle. So don't go away. This baby is not over. The Pirates have the potential to strike back, and lethally. And here's Jay Bell. Bell has had himself an amazing series, offensively and defensively. Smoltz is set. The first one misses low. It's 1-0. Bell is 10 out of 25. A couple of doubles, a homer. He's driven home 1. He's scored 2. He came into the league championship series 1 out of 18 against John Smoltz. He's 3 out of 4 with a homer. Smoltz's next one misses low. It's 2-0. And if it holds true to form, timeout being called. Merced over to have a couple of words with first base coach Tommy Sant. Smoltz wants a new baseball. He has it. If Smoltz misses wide with this one, look for Terry Pendleton to make his way to the mound and have a couple of words with his right-hander. John is set. The look to first. The pitch to Bell. Down low, it's 3-0. And timeout is being called by Terry Pendleton. He's on his way to the mound. How many times have we seen this happen with Terry Pendleton this year? Regardless of who the pitcher is, if things don't go exactly right, he must have saved Leo Mazzoni and Bobby Cox at least 100 trips to the mound this year.
Well, he's done it so much you can predict it, which is exactly what you did. And Terry is the captain on the field. And hopefully it'll work, whatever he said to John.
3-0 to Bell. Smoltz needs a strike. He's got it. Belt high down the middle. It's 3-1. It might surprise you. Bell with good speed, but the right-handed hitter grounded into 15 double plays this year. That was second on the Pirate Ball Club. The 3-1 on its way. A looper to center field. Gant will have to play it on a hop. So here we go. The Pirates have the first 2 on, and here comes Bonilla. John Smoltz quickly got Merced 0-2, and then came back with a fastball right down the middle. Fell behind, 3-1 to Bell. Bell hit a pretty good pitch, a fastball about the belt on the outside corner, but he looped it in center. Pirates have him at first and second. Nobody out, and Ben Slyke will step in. Ben Slyke has not had a good series. He's 4 out of 21. He does have a homer and a couple of RBIs. The home run coming off the lefty Tom Glavine. The set by Smoltz, the pitch to Van Slyke. High, ball 1. Down in the Braves bullpen, only one man is moving. Charlie Lebrand is pacing back and forth. Bobby Cox has said he would be the first man out of the bullpen if the Braves had to go down there early. The 1-0 from Smoltz. Curveball in there, strike 1. 1-1 to Van Slyke. Coming into the series, he was 4 out of 19 with a homer against Smoltz. He was up twice in Game 3. He got 1 base hit. Belliard shortens up a little at short. Lemke in a couple of steps at second. The 1-1 on its way. Curveball outside. It's 2-1. The home run from Brian Hunter put a hush over the crowd here at Three Rivers Stadium. But the back-to-back base hits have somehow helped them refine their voices. 2 balls and 1 strike to Van Slyke. The look to second by Smoltz. The pitch. Deep to right field. Back goes Justice to the wall. He's got it against the wall. Merced tags at second. He'll go to third. Bell is back to first. And Van Slyke came within inches of tying this ball game.
Just as he came within feet of winning last night's Game 6 in the 9th inning when he uncorked a wicked line drive into the bullpen just off the foul pole. If that had been fair, right now we'd be back home in Atlanta. These guys would have been in Minnesota, so his last couple of cuts against Brave pitching have really been shots. Luckily, that one stayed in.
And Van Slyke hit the bag at first, jumped sky high. Here's Bonilla. Runners at the corner. First one is a breaking ball, misses low. It's 1-0. As Van Slyke hit the bag at first, when Justice caught it, Van Slyke could have come close to tying the world high jump record. Merced off third, Bell off first. The 1-0 to Bonilla. Tried to check his swing. Did he go around? They'll ask Eric Gregg at third. No, says Big Eric. It's 2-0. So after quickly getting 0-2 to Merced and giving up the base hit, Smoltz has pitched behind in the count to Bell, Van Slyke, and Bonilla. Bonilla 6 out of 19 for the series. The set by Smoltz. The pitch off the fist to right field. Shallow right. Lemke is there. He's got it. The big swing by Bonilla. It looked like he had hit that ball harder than he had. Lemke was in a couple of steps and in shallow right field makes the catch. So 2 outs, and here's Barry Bonds.
Don, if he gets out of this jam, first and second, none out. If he gets Bonds to bounce right to somebody and he escapes it, the Braves have to feel like they are blessed, not only in the game but in the series.
Bonds only 3 out of 23 for the series. Smoltz from the set, the pitch to Bonds. Fastball at the belt, strike 1. Bonds 3 out of 23. He has scored 1. He has not driven home a run. And Bonds, with runners on base, 0 for 14 in the playoffs. The set by Smoltz, the look to third. The pitch to Bonds. Curveball in there, 0-2. So Smoltz 1 pitch away from defusing a fireworks display by the Pirates here in the first. He has Bonds 0-2. But remember, he had Merced 0-2. John is set. The look to first, now to third. The pitch on the ground, up the middle, backhanded by Lemke. He throws to first. That'll take care of Barry Bonds. And the Braves dodge a large bullet in the first inning. The Pirates come up with 1 on 2 base hits. They leave a couple stranded. At the end of 1, Braves lead it 3-1.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, after 1 inning of play, 2 young pitchers stared fate eyeball to eyeball. John Smiley didn't make the grade. In 2/3, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs. And John Smoltz survived, but almost didn't in his inning, that first inning, when the long drive by Andy Van Slyke pushed David Justice right to the wall. That was on its way for a moment, then it just kind of died out there. So the score right now, Atlanta 3, Pittsburgh nothing. We go to the second inning, and here comes the number 8 batter, Rafael Belliard, and right back to John Rooney.
The first inning was the undoing for Smiley in Game 3 and in Game 7.
He has had a tough time, and sometimes these things stay with you for your entire career. And that's the one thing. Smiley's a marvelous pitcher, a wonderful young pitcher. But because of his lapses here in the championship series, you don't know what people are going to say.
He gave up 7 runs on 7 hits. Combined numbers for the 2 first inning performances. Here's Belliard reaching for a high outside pitch, tapping it to the shortstop. A good play on the run by Bell to throw out Belliard. One shortstop takes care of another. 1 pitch and 1 out.
I still think the Atlanta Braves better be careful because Bob Walk, we talked about him before. He's an old pro. He's been around a long, long time. Started his pro career back in 1977. Came to the big leagues in 1980 with Philadelphia, then on with Atlanta, on to Pittsburgh in 85. He has been a money pitcher, and he can give you a game. Maybe not every time out, but when he needs it, you'll get it from him.
The windup and the pitch to the pitcher, John Smoltz. He takes strike 1. Walk came up in a World Championship season with the Philadelphia Phillies in 1980 when they beat Kansas City. The next pitch, a curveball low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Smoltz went 1 for 3 in Saturday's game. He hit 108 during the regular season. but stole a base. The pitch. Fastball spins him around. High and tight, ball 2, 2-1. Was that wise, Smoltz running? I mean, it worked out all right. He's healthy. He didn't get hurt.
Well, it was late in the game, as I recall, the 7th inning, and it was rather warm, and he left right after that.
Fastball low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Bob wouldn't walk the pitcher, would he?
Not on purpose. He doesn't want to walk him.
3-1 pitch.
Yes,
over but low, and he did walk John Smoltz.
Wow.
Back to the top of the order for Lonnie Smith.
Here comes a lucky charm on the Atlanta Braves ball club. He's had world championship rings with Philadelphia, with Kansas City, and St. Louis. And he's trying for his 4th. That's a rare, rare feat indeed.
Lonnie Smith had to step in for Atlanta when Otis Nixon was sidelined with a drug problem. And the question, will Nixon be back next year for Atlanta? Many say yes. We'll have to see.
I know he was sitting on a $6 million contract that he may not be sitting on.
Belliard grounded out. John Smoltz got a walk. Smoltz is wearing the jacket now as he takes his lead away from first base. Merced plays in behind him. The pitch. Smith swings and hits a dribbler to the first baseman, played by Merced near the bag. He takes it, steps on first, and then watches John Smoltz move into second base. Lonnie Smith is out 3 unassisted, 2 gone for Terry Pendleton.
I give some credit to Orlando Merced. He's a marvelous fielding first baseman. He has got great lateral movement, can handle the glove quite well, and he's the kind of a guy. The only flaw with him is he's a right-hand fielding first baseman. You don't see many of those around.
Pendleton will bat left-handed as he faces Bob Walk for the first time in this game. Pendleton singled and scored 1 of the 3 runs in the first. So much was made about Sid Bream moving on to Atlanta as a free agent, but it opened the door for Merced to get a lot of playing time, splitting time with Gary Reedus at first base this season.
As a switch hitter, he's just getting started, so he's going to be a big one down the line.
Walk takes too much time getting the sign, so Pendleton backs out. 3-0 Atlanta. The Braves have a runner at second base with 2 men out. Smoltz walk, moved up on the ground out by Lonnie Smith. From the stretch walk, a look back to second. Now the pitch on the way, and it's a fastball low and outside.
Pendleton got a hit from the right side. He's up there left-handed where he hadn't done much at all.
14 out of 49 in his career against Bob Walk. That's a .286 average for Pendleton.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Smoltz is the runner at second base. The pitch from Walk. Swing and a miss on a big breaking curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, one thing Walk has, we talk about a shoulder. He throws the shoulder at you, then here comes the baseball, and that's what is known off-speed pitching. He gets you to jump. That happened to Pendleton right there. And Bob Walk, about the time you think you're going to get a fastball, look out, here comes that dipsy-do, and he'll get you with it.
Bob Walk made his major league debut against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now he's pitching for the Pirates in Game 7 of the 1991 National League Series. The pitch. Swing and a foul ball back to the screen. 1-2 on Pendleton.
I think Walk went down to Hawaii and had a banner year before Pittsburgh picked him up. He went to the minor leagues to fight his way back.
He had gone 9-5 in 1984 and got his way back to the big leagues with Pittsburgh in 84. Still had to pitch in a lot of baseball with Hawaii, where he went 16-5 in 85, Jerry.
Yeah, he was given a chance by Pittsburgh, and they finally waited for him to get that arm healthy, and when it did, he was quite a pitcher for them.
A lead away from second base for Smoltz. Walk's pitch is grounded to the second baseman, Chico Lean. He throws out Pendleton, ending the top half of the second. After an inning and a half of play in Pittsburgh, the Braves lead the Pirates 3-0.
The National League Championship Series here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where the Atlanta Braves have taken a 3-0 lead, and we're giving it to you on the CBS Radio Network. In the bullpen right now, Roger Mason is throwing as Bob Walk becomes a 4th batter in the second inning. The manager, Jim Leadon, going early to that bench and to the bullpen. And what he's going to do, he'll be running into at least 5 pitchers, at least 5, unless the Pittsburgh Pirates catch up. But John Rooney, I'm Jerry Coleman. Now let's bring in John for the play-by-play.
Okay, Jerry. Steve Buechele is 7 for 19 in the League Championship Series after hitting .246 in a brief time with the Pirates at the tail end of the season. He played the bulk of the season with the Rangers in Arlington. The line by Smoltz, the first pitch of inning number 2, a high fastball. Buechele, Lavalier leaned. Then the pitcher's spot. Merced and Bell got back-to-back hits in the first inning, but the Pirates did not score. Swing and a miss. Buechele chased a pitch low and outside, way out of the strike zone. 1-1.
A little over anxious right there, especially with Smoltz the way he is. You know, he could really have a bad outing, and I know that manager Bobby Cox is watching him carefully. He wants a good inning out of him right here.
Smoltz with the wind and the pitch. A swing and a foul ball back to the screen. 1-2. Buechele has put together a very good series. In his 7 hits, 2 doubles. And he has been on base with 4 walks. The wind and the pitch. Check swing, curveball outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Smoltz not sharp yet. Those breaking balls are high. They're going out over the plate. Buechele helped him a little bit, swinging wildly at that first strike.
Here's the windup and the 2-2 pitch. Strike called on the inside corner. He got him looking, 1 out in the second.
Good breaking ball.
That's the first strikeout for Smoltz, who struck out 148 batters in 229 2/3 innings. Mark LaValliere is the batter. A left-handed batting catcher, 1 for 3 with a game-winning RBI in extra innings in Atlanta. Here's Smoltz with the windup, and the first pitch to the Pirate catcher is a high fastball.
Talked to Mike about that fastball he got from Mark Wohlers to win the ball game with that 3rd run for Pittsburgh, and I said, man, that looked like it danced all over the place. He said it was moving, but you couldn't see it from the side.
Here's the pitch. Ball low. 2 balls, no strikes.
He asked his teammates, he said, what does this guy throw? He said, straight fastball. He said, he doesn't throw a straight fastball. That thing dances all over the ballpark.
Said he got it on the first pitch and then got it again for an RBI single. There's a fastball high. 3 balls, no strikes. And I asked him, were you looking for that pitch after you saw it on the first one? He said, no, I was looking for this little white thing coming out of his hand.
Anything that I could hit. Tell you right now, the Smoltz is not having a good outing. And the way he's going, he's got to shape up or he's going to be shipped out, because you got to win this one. If you're Bobby Cox, you can't wait for him to get good. You got to get him out of there if he can't do it.
The 3-0 pitch. Ball 4 on 4 pitches. LaValliere's a base runner with Lean coming in. Lean, who's 4 for 21 in this playoff. 3 runs batted in to lead the Pirates. He has struck out 6 times.
Bobby Cox is being tested right now. He wants to keep a starter in there. He's got great stuff, but he's erratic. So what do you do? It's not unlike the first game that he pitched, John, when he was erratic and had to leave in the 6th inning after trying to steal a base, or the 7th rather. He did good enough, but his team got a lot of runs to help him out.
That was in a 10-3 win. Strike 1 with Lean bailing out on a slider over. Bobby Cox took a lot of heat last night up until Steve Avery said, look, I told Bobby I had done all I can do. Cox took him out in the 9th inning in favor of Alejandro Pena. The pitch, a swing and a ground ball. Diving stop by Pendleton at 3rd. He throws to first in time for the out. Pendleton took extra bases away from Chico Lean. LaValliere does go to second base on the play, but a great diving stop by Pendleton at 3rd base.
Could be a game saver before it's over. Brilliant, brilliant play by Terry Pendleton. Now with 2 outs, Walker's going to hit for himself, and Mason will sit down. But what a play that was. Had that ball gone through, runners at 2nd, 3rd at least, and maybe more. What a play.
Jerry Coleman is back in the booth after jumping out and hanging a star on that one. Right?
You got to throw a star out for that one. That was outstanding. I mean, outstanding. And a spot like that, incredible.
Now Bob Walk bats for himself, a swing and a foul ball back. Do you hang a star for opposing players in San Diego?
Oh, no. We're homers.
Okay. Just asking.
Just go for our guys.
Just asking.
I don't think the fans would be excited about some guy on an opposing team making a game-saving play and let's throw a star out.
Even if it's the greatest play you'd ever seen? Well, it makes you that mad, huh?
You never know when that greatest play is.
The 1-strike pitch, a ball high.
Every now and then you'll see something you've never seen before and you say, that's got to be the best play I ever saw. Then next week something else happens. That's the great charm of baseball. Every day something different, something exciting, something new, and the tension of when it happens is even more important.
Bob Walk with a 1-1 count, 2 outs. I knew the answer to the question before I ever asked you. There's a swing and a miss. Curveball thrown by Smoltz, and Walk, the opposing pitcher, can't hit it. 1-2. The runner at second base is Mike LaValliere. He's there with 2 men out. Walk bats in the number 9 spot that was occupied by Smiley. Smiley did not have an at bat in this playoff series.
Yeah, I feel sorry for John. He's a good man.
The pitch on the way, a swing and a miss, and Walk is out on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning and in the game for John Smoltz. 1 left on. 3 runners have been stranded by Pittsburgh. After 2 full innings of play at Three Rivers Stadium, it's the Braves 3, the Pirates nothing. We'll be back in just a moment.
Braves lead it 3-0 as we head to the top of the third. But before we begin play, let's pause for station identification. You're with the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Waffle House, open 24 hours every day. Stop by your neighborhood Waffle House today for the friendliest service in town. Waffle House says, Tomahawk 'em Braves. AM 750 WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
Gant, Justice, and Hunter. First 3 due up in the top of the third. In a series like this, you know it's only natural that the players might be a little bit nervous. You've already heard how it's fairly easy for the announcers to get into it and get a little bit nervous. But how about some of the wives and some of the family? Let me give you an example. Greg Olson has been calmly handling all of this, driving in key runs, getting key base hits. As usual, doing the great job behind the plate. As a matter of fact, finding time to write what I think has been a great column in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. But how is Lisa handling this? Well, let me tell you, today we were told to be packed and have our bags down in the lobby by 5 o'clock. As we get set to board the bus at 5:30, out come Lisa running toward the bus looking for Bill Akery, traveling secretary. It seems she had packed her tickets for Game 7. So, yes, up and down the line. Everybody caught up in the excitement. 3-0 Braves, and here's Gant. Walks first one on its way. Breaking ball misses low. It's 1-0. I can see Lisa having to deal with a scalper outside of the stadium to get in to watch her husband catch.
Really? I'm Greg Olson's wife. Really? Let me show you an ID.
1-0 to Gant. Walk winds the pitch. Swing and a miss by Gant. Good breaking ball. It's 1-1.
After what Ole did here last night with a game-winning hit, no scalper would have sold her anything.
1-1 to Gant. Walk, big right-hander. Rocks into the windup. Buechele creeps back at third. Pitch, Gant misses outside. It's 2-1. Gant, one of the 3 RBIs. Delivered by the Braves in the first inning. Brian Hunter got the other 2. The wind by Walk in the pitch. Fastball catches the corner at the knees. Doug Harvey throwing up the right hand. It's 2-2. LaValliere flashes him out. Walk nods yes. Here's the pitch. From the side, sweeping breaking ball. Misses wide. He had Gant bailing with that one. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And if Gant can draw a leadoff walk here or get a base hit, it's automatic. He will be off and running. Walk is set. The wind, the 3-2 on its way. Fastball hit on the ground. Base hit center field. Jay Bell was playing him to pull way over in the hole near Buechele. Gant grounds it near shortstop, up the middle. It's a base hit. So the Braves get the third off to a good start, and here's David Justice. Justice 5 out of 23, a homer and 2 RBIs. Versus Walk in the playoffs, he's 1 out of 2. He is homered off of Big Bob. Gant, big lead, right foot out on the turf. Walk gives him a look, comes set, and he'll go over there. But Gant not fooled by the move, back standing. Pat Corrales making a point to Frank Pulley as he points out to Walker. Watch that front leg. Watch the move with the bent front leg. Walk takes a lot of time. Now he's set. The look to first. The pitch home. Misses low and away. Gant was not going. It's 1-0 to Justice.
I'll tell you, then, going back to game 1 of this series, Bob Walk has been real tough for the Atlanta Braves to figure out. He's now put together 6 1/3 innings. He's allowed only 1 run and 4 hits, walking 1 man. He's been very effective out of their bullpen.
During the season, there were 11 attempted steals. Base runners were successful 7 times. 1-0 to Justice. The balk move. Pat Corrales His talking to Frank Pulley made him aware of the move, and Bob Walk with that front shoulder turned toward third base. The bent front leg almost had Gant picked off, but it's a balk, and Gant's at second. Some good heads-up coaching at first base by Pat Corrales. When Walk made the first throw over there, Corrales very animatedly pointed out that bent front leg and the front shoulder turning toward third. Well, it works. Gant's at second. It's 1-0. They play David to pull. Merced and Lean both back near what would normally be the outfield grass. Bell close to the bag at second. He's trying to sneak in behind Gant. The pitch to Justice. Fastball at the knees inside corner. It's 2-1. Still nobody out. Gant at second. 2-1 to Justice. Walk taking a lot of time. Takes a look to second. Bell sneaks in. Now he's back. And the pitch to Justice. Swung on, fouled out a play up over the Braves dugout. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Braves on a sacrifice fly by Ron Gant and a 2-run homer from Brian Hunter put 3 on the board in the first, threatening to add more here in the second. Gant moves off second. A big lead. Bell is in there close. The pitch to Justice. Swung on, looped in left center field. It's a long run for Bonds. He's there, makes the catch. Gant with a tag will go into third sliding. So Justice flies to left. Gant moves to third. 1 out, and here's Brian Hunter.
That ball hit very deeply right between the outfielders in center and in left. But that's really no man's land with those two, Van Slyke and Bonds. But deeply enough so Ronnie had no trouble at all extending that on to third. And now the infield end. If Hunter can bang one through, he'll have another RBI. He has a 2-run homer in the game.
Hunter 5 out of 15 in the series. The homer with 3 RBIs puts him second to Greg Olson, who has 4. Walk's pitch is fouled away. Didn't mean to. A check swing. It's 0-1. Pirates have to bring the infield in. Any sort of fly ball to the outfield. Even with that good Pirate outfield with Gant's speed, he should be able to score on it. 0-1 to Hunter. Olson on deck. The set by Walk. He'll pitch from the stretch. The pitch to Hunter. Pop right side. First base. Merced a couple of steps behind the bag. He's got it. 2 outs. So now it'll take a base hit to get Gant home from third. You could see what Hunter was trying to do. He was just trying to put it in play to the right side, but got under it just a little bit. Sent it up the chute. It was an easy play for Merced. And here's Olson. Twice he has faced Walk in the League Championship Series. Twice he's come up empty. He has a single to show for 1 at-bat tonight. Leads the Braves with 8 hits. The set by Walk, the pitch to Olson. Breaking ball in the dirt. Nice stop by LaValliere. It's 1-0. Olson, in his brief 2-year stay in the big leagues, has only faced Walk 4 times. He is 1 out of 4. Gant off third. Walk from the stretch. The look to third. The pitch to Olson. Fouled out of play right side. It's even at a ball and a strike.
It was funny to hear Greg's comments to the media after last night. Of course, he had the game-winning double, and many asked him, is that the biggest hit you've ever had in the major leagues? And he keeps having to remind people, I've only been in the majors for 2 years, and last year we lost 97 games. So, yeah, it was the biggest hit I've ever got.
The 1-1 from Walk. Curveball drops in there at the belt. Olson thought it stayed inside. It's 1-2.
But, you know, Olson looks like the kind of guy who's been around for 10 or 12 years.
He conducts himself that way. I can envision Greg Olson, if he wants to stay in baseball, making somebody a good manager someday. Pretty good student of the game and a great personality, a great makeup for baseball. 1-2 from Walk. Gant off third. The pitch to Greg. Just inside with the fastball. Walk thought he had strike 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Again, the set by Walk. The pitch on its way to Olsen from the side. The sweeping curveball misses wide. Again, a nice stop by LaValliere. It's 3-2. LaValliere flashes the signs out. Walk, nods, yes. Set at the belt. The 3-2 on its way. Curveball, pop, shallow left center field. Bell is out. Here comes Van Slyke. He'll take charge. He's got it. So the Braves get the leadoff man on, get him as far as third, leave him stranded. We have played 2.5 at Pittsburgh. Braves lead it 3-0. Braves lead it 3-0 as the Pirates come to bat here in the third inning. Due up the top of the order, Merced, Bell, and Van Slyke. And here to take you the next leg of the trip to Minneapolis, once again, Dave O'Brien.
All right, thank you very much, Don. That's right, the Minneapolis Express. It started with the Braves getting on the board early, got 3 runs in the very first inning, tagging John Smiley and knocking the 20-game winner out of the ball game. Exactly what the Braves did early in Game 3 against the same pitcher. And it's nice at last to talk about the other guys struggling for runs. The Pirates have now gone 20 straight innings at home in this series without scoring a run. They go to the top of the order here in the third. Merced, Bell, and Van Slyke against John Smoltz, who's been hot and cold so far on the mound. The right-hander is into the wind, and the first pitch to Merced. He checked his swing. The pitch was low, and appeal to Eric Gregg. He says no swing. Ball 1. Merced 1 for 1. He cracked an 0-2 base hit right through the middle. Almost got a piece of John Smoltz in the first inning. But he was stranded out there. Here's the wind and the 1-0 pitch. Just off the outside corner. Merced nearly offered at it. And it's 2-0. The first baseman is 2 out of 6 with a homer in the series. Both of the hits off of John Smoltz. He winds and fires. That's right through there. 2-1. In fact, Merced hit the first pitch of Game 3 out of the park off of Smoltz. Good-looking young ball player. Hit .275 with 10 homers and 50 RBIs during the regular season, platooning with Reedus. There's a fastball, foul ball back to the screen. And it's all even up at 2-2. 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors for Atlanta. And a great defensive stop by Terry Pendleton. The Pirates have not been able to break through despite a couple of hits and a walk. 3-0 Bravos. Here's the wind and the 2-2 home. Off speed is popped up, shallow left center. Back goes Belliard. In comes Gant. Ronnie Gant calls, and he takes it. And one man is out in the Pirate third inning. A very high but very shallow pop up to center. And it brings up the people's choice here in Pittsburgh, certainly for this series. Jay Bell. His base hit in the first inning makes him 11 for 26. That's a .423 pace in this series. This guy has been on base all series. Here's the pitch. A fastball down the heart for strike 1. Against Smoltz in the first meeting between the two, Bell went 3 for 4 with a homer. But the Pirates lost it. Here's the 0-1. Cut on and missed. 0-2.
Well, I'll tell you how consistent he's been, Dave. This is the 7th game in the series. He's had a hit in every game except Game 6.
Last night he went 0 for 4. His first hitless game, and he really is a free swinger. He's gotten on base only by hitting the ball. He hasn't walked yet. The 0-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Great breaking ball at the knees, and Bell is retired on strikes. John Smoltz fanning Bell, who has now struck out 9 times in the series. So despite all the hits, he's whiffing a lot too. And there are 2 men out.
A lot of times you'll hear a curveball called a knee buckler. And if you could have seen Jay Bell, that's exactly what happened there. Both knees buckled. He couldn't have hit that if he had known what was coming.
Now Andy Van Slyke, who narrowly missed a big home run in the first inning. The first pitch to him is in for a strike. Another good breaking ball. He flied one deep to the base of the right field wall that David Justice flagged down. Had it gone out, it would have been a 3-run homer and a tie game in the first. This is indeed a game of inches. Here's the 0-1 pitch. There's a high fly ball hit deep dead center. Looks like Gant has room, though. He's back on the track and makes the catch for the out. And they go 1-2-3. Van Slyke hits the ball hard, but again it stays inside the park. And after 3 in Pittsburgh, Atlanta on top 3-0.
After 3 innings of play here at Pittsburgh's Three Rivers Stadium, the Atlanta Braves lead the Bucs 3-0 as we go now to the 4th inning. And in that 4th inning, it'll be the bottom of the order for the Atlanta Braves. Mark Lemke, Rafael Belliard, and John Smoltz. With John Rooney, I'm Jerry Coleman. And here comes John now with a play-by-play.
Okay, Jerry. The Pirates had managed to hold the Braves to 26 2/3 innings of scoreless baseball at one stretch. Right now, the Pirates have been held scoreless by the Braves the last 16 innings overall and the last 21 innings in games played right here at Three Rivers Stadium. Andy Van Slyke has had a couple of long drives in this game, but caught at the warning track. And now the Braves bat with Lemke leading off and taking a curve strike from Bob Walk. We're in the 7th and deciding game of the 1991 National League Championship Series. Lemke swings on a curveball and bounces it to Lean at second base, and he throws out his counterpart 4-3.
Well, will we see Alejandro Pena coming on for the Atlanta Braves to try for his 4th save in 4 games won by the Atlanta Braves? Would that happen?
Now, if the Braves go on to win this game and make it to the World Series, that deal alone to bring Pena over could make John Schuerholz the executive of the year in the National League. I think he'll win it anyway. But
yeah, Bobby Cox got the AP Manager of the Year today.
And congratulations to Bobby. Here's Belliard swinging and missing a curveball. No, he checked just in time on a curveball down and away. Frank Pulley, the first base umpire on the appeal, says no swing.
You know, those two managers, Jim Leland and Bobby Cox, they don't care about awards. They want to win, period.
The windup by Walk, the pitch. A swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leland has not managed in a World Series. Bobby Cox came close in 1985 with the Toronto Blue Jays, but not close enough for his liking. Now the pitch. A strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'm going to say Bobby took over the general manager of the Atlanta Braves, and much of what you see on the field belongs to him. There have been some parts filled in, but all those young pitchers and all those good young players are the people that he developed.
With 1 out, the pitch, a swing and a ground ball to Chico Lean. He throws out Belliard. Lemke and Belliard have grounded out to Lean. 2 up, 2 down for John Smoltz.
And hasn't walked on a job. In 3 1/3 innings coming up, if he gets Smoltz, 1 base hit and 1 walk.
That walk was to John Smoltz, the pitcher. Looking ahead to the 4th inning for the Pirates, Bonilla, Bonds, and Buechele. A swing and a high pop foul out of play off to the right. A souvenir in the first level at Three Rivers Stadium. The Pirates lost in 6 to the Reds last year. Now they've gone the distance in this series playing the Braves. A curveball low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the windup by Walk and the 1-1 pitch with 2 outs. A swing and a line drive foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Smoltz, as Jerry mentioned, is starting to settle in with his curveball. He worked his first 3 up, 3 down inning facing Merced, Bell, and Van Slyke in the 3rd. Now he's batting facing Bob Walk with 2 down in the 4th. The 1-2 pitch. Curveball way outside. Another sidearm delivery by Bob Walk.
Been using that quite a bit tonight. He must have found favor with it later this year and used it considerably because he's doing it tonight quite often.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Smoltz takes strike 3. Walk records his first strikeout, fanning his counterpart, John Smoltz. 3 up, 3 down go the Braves in the 4th. And after 3.5 in Pittsburgh, it's the Braves 3, the Pirates nothing.
And to the 4th inning we go for the Pittsburgh Pirates. It'll be Bonilla, Bonds, and Buechele moving in against John Smoltz. Atlanta on top 3-0. They got all the runs in the first inning off with John Smiley, and that has been where it has stopped for both sides. And now Bonilla stepping in, facing Smoltz. Here's John Rooney.
What's your feeling with this game yet, Jerry? It's 3-0 Atlanta, and we're in the 4th inning with the Pirates batting.
I think it's anybody's game right now. Smoltz, unless he really shows 3 or 4 good innings.
He throws ball 1 high and inside to Bonilla.
He was erratic in the first, more so in the second when he got behind hitters and got lucky on a great play by Pendleton down the line. And now he's got to go through the big guys. And Andy Van Slyke has hit 2 balls in another direction, might be out of the ballpark. So he's not out of the woods yet. He's got to fight it, and he's going to. He's a young pitcher who's got a great arm.
Here's the 1-0 pitch, and Bonilla swings and hits a smash foul past Gene Lamont, the third base coach. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bonilla popped out to the second baseman Lemke in the first inning. That was with runners at first and third and 1 out. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bobby, batting left-handed. The pitch. Upstairs, ball 2, 2-1. Jerry, I got the feeling, though, from the Pirate front office people at the post-game reception last night and just the general feeling in the downtown area today that those fans and people were stunned after last night's 1-0 Braves win. Swing and a ground ball foul past Tommy Sant, the first base coach.
Well, they had their best out there, Doug Drabek, and the man that got the hit to win the ball game was not the fella you would think would do the job. It was Greg Olson, and Olson was batting 7th in the lineup to get that double in the 9th inning to win it. So when people like that take you downtown and get to you, it gets tough. Jose Lean did the same thing for Pittsburgh in a game when he drove in the only one game in a 1-0 win.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. A swing and a bouncing ball to first, played by Hunter. The underhands to Smoltz, covering the bag, and Bonilla is out 3-1. That's 6 in a row retired by John Smoltz.
If he settles in like that and gets through the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th innings in expert fashion, then you know the guy in the bullpen has been brilliant. If he can continue to do that, Alejandro Pena may be called on to wrap it up, but we'll have to wait and see. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're only in the middle of the game, and it's still 3-0 Atlanta.
Well, don't do that.
Well, you like to. Sometimes you like to project. Managers project. Boy, they're
they
in
do.
the 7th and 8th inning right now.
And you're a former manager, so I'll forgive you. There's a pitch taken low by Barry Bonds.
Yeah, we came in last.
You were projecting.
I was so far ahead of it, I didn't know what I was doing.
Bonds grounded out his first time. The pitch to the left fielder, and he takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bonds is a mere 3 for 24 in this series, a 125 average.
He's having a very tough series, and he really has not been able to gauge the strike zone. He's been mad at every plate umpire in the series, and he just isn't hitting well. He's taking pitches he ought to swing at, and hitting pitches he ought to take.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. A swing, and the ball's driven down the left field line. It will get down fair and bounce off the wall. Bonds has a double. He's at second with 1 out in the 4th inning.
John, that was a high curveball outside. He just tapped it into left field, and that's what he ought to do more often instead of swinging right from the heels. He just went with it and popped it. So now here comes Pittsburgh. A base hit here. They're right back in it.
So after popping off to the home plate umpire, Bonds lets his bat do the talking with a double to left field. Now Steve Buechele. He was called out on strikes in the 2nd inning. He bats with a man in scoring position. Buechele is 7 out of 20 in this series. The pitch. A swing, and he popped him up on the right side of the infield. Under it, Hunter, the first baseman. He makes the catch, 2 men out. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the CBS Radio Network.
You're listening to the Braves Drive for the Pennant.
WKHX-FM, WKHX Marion, Atlanta.
Kicks 101.5.
With Jerry Coleman, I'm John Rooney, and Jerry, you have spotted activity in the right field bullpen.
Well, Roger Mason's going to drop dead out there. He's been up 4 times. We're only in the 4th inning. Every time you turn around, he's throwing. He may not have an arm left when the game is over. In fact, he may pitch himself out of the bullpen.
Here's LaValliere. He's batting with a runner at second, 2 outs. Curveball strike on the outside corner.
Part of the reason why he's up there, because after LaValliere comes Lean and then Walk, and manager Jim Lean has got to have somebody ready in the event you need a pinch hitter. So we'll see what happens.
Spanky LaValliere, a left-handed batter, came to the Pirates from the Cardinals. The pitch, a swing and a chop on the right side, playing a deep second base. Lemke charges, throws in the dirt. Hunter comes off the bag, and LaValliere is safe. That was a long run for Lemke, playing out in shallow right field, Jerry. He had to charge and move to his right and try to make an off-balance throw. It didn't add up.
Well, Lemke was really too far back. You know, with LaValliere, he's not a power hitter. You don't have to go into the outfield for him. You know, play him a little bit back, but he was out 15 feet in the outfield, and by the time he got to the ball, he had to throw off balance and made a bad throw. And I'm not so sure that Hunter wasn't on the bag.
He was on the bag, but did he have possession of the ball?
He was bobbling the ball. Good call by Frank Pulley, an excellent call. He did have control of the ball, but right now, here's Atlanta. They're trying to back off the Pittsburgh Pirates.
An error on the throw. An error on second baseman Mark Lemke. Runners at the corners. Lean swings. Hits a bounding ball to Lemke. He fields near second. Steps on the bag. Retiring Mike LaValliere coming down. 4 unassisted on the play at second base. So Bonds is stranded at third. And Lean is stranded at first base. In the 4th inning, no runs, a hit, an error, 2 left on. 5 have been stranded by the Pirates. And after 4 full innings of play in Pittsburgh, Atlanta still leads this ball game 3-0 over the Pirates. And we'll be back in just a moment.
We're about to get the 5th inning underway from Pittsburgh. 3-0 Atlanta in front in the 7th and final game of the National League Championship Series. Only 2 other teams have ever done what the Braves are trying to do here tonight. That's go on the road down 3-2 and win games 6 and 7 to advance on to the World Series. The Minnesota Twins are waiting. They have been for quite some time after easily dispatching of the Toronto Blue Jays to win the American League Championship. And that'll bring up another question, having to wait around so long, how sharp they're going to be. I know one guy who's going to be sharp and ready because he's been through it a couple of times already. That's Jack Morris, who's going to pitch for the Twins in Game 1.
And much like we have said before, you feel comfortable with an Avery or a Glavine or a Smoltz going out there. You have to feel comfortable with Jack Morris. He's at home. He's a competitor. He's been looking forward to coming home and playing in a series in his hometown in Minneapolis.
Lonnie Smith leads it off against walks, swings at the first one, and pops it out of play for strike 1. Lonnie has walked and grounded out to first in the game. He's 0 for 1. Yeah, Morris has that wicked split finger. The bottom just drops out of it. And many are speculating, regardless of whether the Pirates or Braves advance on to the World Series, they're going to see a lot more breaking pitches from the American Leaguers. Here's the 0-1. That's in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Terry Pendleton on deck. Ronnie Gant to follow. Braves got all 3 of the runs in the 1st inning, which was a sight to behold. Braves doing it on 3 hits. The key blow, Brian Hunter's 2-run homer. Walk went to the rosin bag. Now he's pitching the 1-1. Fouled away again. Looper off to the right. It's 1-2. Lonnie for the season hit .275, and for the championship series he's hit .273. The right-hander Bob Walk comes home with the 1-2, and he bounces one to the plate. 2-2. Landrum the right-hander and Patterson the left-hander now throwing in the Pittsburgh bullpen. So even though Bob Walk has been very effective and since entering the game has done a terrific job, Jim Leyland may go to someone else pretty soon. Here's the kick in the 2-2 to Smith. Almost went. The pitch was outside. It's 3-2.
Well, Leyland is taking no chances. There's no tomorrow for either one of these ball clubs. Walk, his spot is the first one due up in the 5th inning. So if he had to make a switch, he might also double switch here.
Here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on and missed for strike 3. Lonnie Smith strikes out to start the Brave 5th inning. Lonnie has really had 2 different series. He went hitless in the first 3 games. Didn't have a hit after 3 games were played. Then he went 6 for 11 in games 4, 5, and 6. Tonight playing in his 40th playoff game, and he is on the bench right now. A strikeout victim, and here's Terry Pendleton, who has singled and tapped out to second, 1 for 2. Terry only batting 185 for the series, but he scored a run in the game and takes the first pitch low for ball 1. Terry was overdue for that first inning single. He went hitless in 3 of the games, including last night when he went 0 for 4. The 1-0 pitch is a strike. Outside edge, it's 1-1.
Boy, he's giving us a whole new look. And his batting stance this time, too, Dave. He's almost always an open stance when he bats left-handed and crouched a little bit. He's standing upright a la David Justice.
He's got about 50 different stances up there, it seems, depending on the situation. With runners on, the 1-1. Downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on here. 1 man is out. Braves lead it 3-0. Top half of the 5th inning. Pete Van Wieren will be over for the call in the last half of the inning. And the Braves are almost halfway there to clinching the National League title. Walks kick and the 2-1 pitch. There's a hard grounder foul off the third base line. All even now, 2-2. Terry's now appeared in 18 playoff games, including World Series games when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals. His batting average in league championship games is underneath 200, but he's a 300 hitter when he gets in the World Series. Here's the 2-2. There's a bouncer off first and foul. Very high chops, still 2-2.
And in the middle of this at bat, Terry Pendleton has changed his batting stance. Now he's wide open. He's choked up on the bat about an inch or two, bends at the waist, and he's in a little bit of a crouch. Well, he doesn't care what the count is. He hits with the way that feels comfortable.
He stands in again on the left side. Waits on walk. And here comes the 2-2 offering. There's a bouncer. Nice play. Fielded by Merced at first. He'll outrace him to the bag for the out. Very sharply hit down the line. Merced had to be cat-like to come up with that one because it rose a little on the lip of the turf. And he pulled away. Maybe a two-base hit for Terry Pendleton. And 2 men are out. So it's been Pendleton and Merced who have turned in the defensive gems of this game. Brings up Ronnie Gant. Ronnie has had a good night so far. His sacrifice fly drove in a run in the first inning, came back to single in the third, and was balked down to second. He takes a cut and misses. It's 0-1. Gant hitting .280 for the series after a slow start. He has the record for steals now in a National League Championship Series. He took number 6 last night. That came after a 9th inning 1-out walk. And with 2 out, Greg Olson drove him in. Takes a pitch low, and it's 1-1. Of those 6 stolen bases, incidentally, Gant has lifted 5 of them here in Pittsburgh. The 1-1 to him now. That's just inside, a breaking ball missing. And the count runs to 2-1. David Justice on deck, but there are 2 out. Nobody aboard. Braves have out-hit the Pirates 4-3, outscored them 3-0. It's Atlanta's game to lose. Here comes the pitch. Just outside this time. Counts 3-1. And Ronnie is facing a hitter's pitch. Gant, including his home run in Game 3 in Atlanta, has hit 33 homers for the year. 4 of them have come against Pirate pitching. Walk shakes off 1-2 signs from LaValliere. Now picks one out. He's winding, and the 3-1 pitch is down and in for ball 4. A 2-out walk for Ronnie Gant. He's aboard. And another good chance for Gant to take a chance at second base. Try to steal another one. 3 walks now to Atlanta. Lonnie Smith, Ronnie Gant, and John Smoltz have all walked. Here's David Justice, who has struck out and flied out to left 0 for 2. He's 5 for 24 in the championship. That's only 208. David would like to get something started for the series, the big series. Here comes the pitch. Gant's running. It's outside. Throw down to second is on the money, but he's going to be safe. Bell tried a sweep tag, and he swept nothing but air. Gant held up just a little bit before diving in, and he's safe. The throw beat him there, Don, but Ronnie Gant slid in safe because Bell made a tactical mistake.
Well, one of the things that players will tell you they like about sliding head first is that you have the hand out front. You can give it, you can take it away. And that's exactly what Gant did. Boy, you call it the throw right on the money, but Bell, just the automatic sweep. Almost always, that's the phantom tag. If you get it down, you get him out. But right on top of the play to make the call, Dana DeMuth made the right call. The sweep absolutely messed Gant's left hand going in there.
Another good piece of work by the umpires, and Leland is marching out to the mound now to talk with Walk. And there's going to be a big conference out there. That's stolen base number 7 for Ronnie Gant. So he adds to his NLCS record. And he's having a good night. He's been on base twice, has a base hit and RBI, and now has his 7th steal.
4 runs. It seems like adding 1. Obviously, when you add 1 to 3, you get 4, but it's almost like doubling it in a game like this, because now it takes a grand slam to tie you. And I think that is such a big run. This would be a big one to get home.
David Justice did not hit the ball out of the infield in last night's game. He went 0 for 4. If he does it here, hits it out of the infield, a run will score. The pitch is outside for a ball, and it's 2-0.
Also, what Jim Leyland might have been telling Walk is, I don't want you to walk him, but don't give in to him. If anything, make the right-hander hit you. Brian Hunter is on deck. He also had to see him examining that thumb that he may have jammed when he went after that throw from Lemke.
They had a heating pad on that thumb for Brian. We'll see if it affects him. Here's the 2-0. That's outside. I think you're right, Don. They're being exceptionally cautious. The count now 3-0. And they are going to put him on base now. Here comes intentional pitch number 4. This will be ball 4. And David Justice tosses the bat, trots on down to first. So once they got to 3-0 and had no shot with him, they walked him.
Well, what Leland had to consider there, he had a left-hander ready down in the bullpen. He could have brought him in to pitch to Justice, but he has to know David must hit 45 points higher against lefties and righties. So he said, okay, my other option is to put him on and let my righty go against the righty, and that's the one he chose.
So Brian Hunter can break through another couple of runs if he hits the ball off the fence somewhere. He hit it over the fence in the first inning. A 2-run homer. 2 down, runners lead at first and second, and the pitch is low for ball 1. And Brian's second at bat, he popped out to first. He's 1 for 2. He's at .313 for the series. And for the year, with runners in scoring position, he hit .319. The 1-0 pitch. He takes it, and it's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brian also closed the regular season really strong, so he was primed for the playoffs. He hit .317 over his last 26 games. He came in on an uptick. Here's the set by Walk and the pitch. There's a bouncing ball. Fair ball inside the third base line. Gant races around third. He's going to score. It's into the corner. Justice will hold up at third and into second with a double, scoring a run. Brian Hunter, his 3rd RBI of the game. The Braves lead it 4-0. And Hunter does it again. Ronnie Gant getting into scoring position with that stolen base, racing home easily, and the inning is not over yet. 2nd and 3rd, 2 out. Greg Olson, the hitter. And that ball was just inside the line, Don, practically on top of the chalk, but clearly fair.
As the late Casey Stengel used to say, so much for strategy. It backfired again. Good job of hitting by Hunter. He had a breaking ball, middle of the plate, but he's quick enough inside. He got it past Buechele.
Olson's 1 for 2 standing in, and he looks at a strike belt high. It's 0-1. Mark Lemke to the on-deck circle. Braves lead it 4-0 here in the 5th inning. Another run in, and we can hear in the chilled night air of Pittsburgh the tomahawk chop and chant reverberating around the ballpark. There's a foul off to the right to make it 0-2. They're on the first base side, buried in the upper deck in nosebleed country. It's probably another 15 degrees colder up there, but they could care less.
They're staying warm. They're staying warm.
Our Braves fans are being heard in Pittsburgh, and they are the only ones making any noise right now.
Well, one of the things you do with offense, like in the first inning, you can take the crowd out of play, especially if you're a visiting ball club. John and the Braves gave him a little shot in the arm as the Pirates threatened in the bottom of the first, but with another rally, with another run, once again, you can take the crowd out of play. Very definitely, in a short series, the crowd becomes a part of the result.
Greg Olson now has 4 RBIs in the league championship series. A single will get him a couple of more. And more importantly, extend the Atlanta lead to 6-0. Right now it's 4-zip. 2 down and an 0-2 pitch on the way. Taken outside for a ball, 1-2. Greg has singled and flied out to center in the game. He's at .348 for the series. Olson's done something else, too. He's been on base 12 times in the first 6.5 games of this series. Here's the set by Walk. And his 1-2 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 3. Froze Olson, and the inning is over. But another productive one for Atlanta in the 5th. A run on 1 hit 2 men left, and Hunter bangs in another with his RBI double. We have now gone halfway through in Pittsburgh, and it's looking great. We head for the last of the 5th. It's the Braves 4 and the Pirates nothing. We bring you to the halfway point of NLCS game number 7, and the first half was all Atlanta. The Braves carry a 4-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Pirates into this half inning. John Smoltz has a shutout to protect. The Braves are halfway to a World Series date with the Minnesota Twins on Saturday night. Cecil Espy is going to lead things off, hitting for Bob Walker at the number 9 spot. Then it's Orlando Merced and Jay Bell. And here with the play-by-play story is Pete Van Wieren.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Espy batting for Bob Walk. Switch hitter, he'll be batting left-handed. A .244 average for the Pirates this year with a homer and 11 RBIs. He is 0 for 1 in the championship series. Smoltz delivers a fastball strike in the outside corner, 0-1. 4 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Braves. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Pirates. Bottom half of the 5th inning in Game 7. Here's the wind, the 0-1 delivery. It's down low and the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike on Espy. Orlando Merced will follow, and then Jay Bell. Smoltz ready, and the 1-1 on the way. Espy swings and misses, and the count 1-2. Right-hander Roger Mason now up in the bullpen for the Pirates, along with the lefty Bob Patterson. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. It bounces up there, and the count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You are liable to see anybody coming into this one. There is no tomorrow for the loser of this ball game. That's one of the reasons why Charlie Liebrandt's out in the bullpen for Atlanta tonight. 2-2, the count at Espy. The wind by Smoltz. The 2-2 pitch hit foul off to the left up into the seats. It remains 2-2. Olsen gives the sign. Smoltz into the windup, and the 2-2 pitch on the way to Espy. Swing and a miss and a fastball, strike 3. Smoltz recording his 4th strikeout of the game, and that's out number 1 in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And we go back to the top of the order. Orlando Merced, who led off the bottom of the 1st inning with a single to center. In the 3rd, he flied to center. He is now 2 out of 7 in the league championship series. Hasn't gotten a lot of playing time because of all the lefties the Braves put out on the mound. The wind by Smoltz. The pitch on the way to Merced. A breaking ball strike in the inside corner. 0-1. 4-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the 5th. 1 out. A 1-strike pitch on the way. Breaking ball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the wind and the 1-1 pitch coming. That's low. 2-1. The count on Merced. Jay Bell on deck. Got to give the Braves fans credit. About maybe 1,500 or so showed up for this one. They're all sitting together in the upper deck over on the first base side, and they're outperforming the Pirate fans. There's a little pop fly down the left field line. Lonnie Smith, a long run. He's near the foul line, just in fair territory. He's got it. And Merced retired for out number 2. And here comes Jay Bell, who's 1 for 2. Bell had a single in the 1st inning, and he looked at a 3rd strike in the 3rd. Two men out, base is empty. Smoltz into the windup, and the pitch on the way to Bell. He takes a strike in the outside corner, 0-1. Braves appreciate all the support they received at the hotel today. I bet that fax machine is still churning out messages to players. Now the 0-1 pitch on the way to Bell. Swung on, missed. The count 0-2. Two men out, base is empty. Smoltz into the windup, and the 0-2 pitch on the way. That one went behind him. He tried to throw a breaking ball. It slipped. And went right behind Jay Bell. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Smoltz again ready. He winds. And the 1-2 pitch to Bell. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Strike 3. Smoltz records his 5th strikeout. And he has a 1-2-3 bottom half of the 5th inning. Nothing doing for the Pirates in the 5th. And after 5 complete in Game 7, it's still Atlanta 4, Pittsburgh nothing.
Comes on to work the 6th inning for the Pirates against the Braves, with the Braves leading 4-0. Right here, let's pause 10 seconds for our stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
You're listening to the Atlanta Braves on FM.
WKHX FM, WKHX Marion, Atlanta.
Kicks 101.5.
John Rooney from Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. Mel Check is our engineer here. Norman Baer, our producer, as we go to the 6th inning. And to take you the rest of the way with the play-by-play, the voice of the San Diego Padres, long ball Jerry Coleman.
Okay, John, and here we have Mark Lemke, Rafael Belliard, then John Smoltz coming on against the right-hander Roger Mason, who got the save in the 1-0 Pittsburgh win the other day. Came on for an inning and a third and held the Atlanta Braves off. And right now, here's Mark Lemke stepping in to bounce to short and to second. He's 0 for 2. He's batting left-handed against the right-handed Mason. And the pitch. Outside. In the ball game, Mason is the 3rd pitcher for Pittsburgh. John Smiley, who was a pitcher of record, went 2/3, allowed 3 hits and 3 runs. Bob Walken 4 1/3, 2 hits and 1 run. 4-0. Braves on top as Lemke takes inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
He's your new buddy, Jerry.
Yeah, he's from Utica. Apparently his dad used to be a great Yankee fan. And met him last night for the first time. Pepper Pot, one of those guys that he'll fight his way up there and stay there. There's a fastball in there, 2 balls, 1 strike. He's got excellent defensive skills, and he's working on his batting average. Lemke this year did not have a big batting average, came in at .234. But he's just a young player getting started, and sometimes when you work at it hard enough, you can make it work. 3 balls, 1 strike now to Mark Lemke. The defense for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Steve Buechele at 3rd, Jay Bell at short, Jose Lind at 2nd, Orlando Merced at 1st, and Mike LaValliere is the catcher. Outfield left to right is Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke, Bobby Bonilla. The 6-6 Mason fires, and Lemke takes high ball 4 down to first base he goes. So Mason does exactly what his manager doesn't want him to do. He walks the lead man here in the 6th inning. We're in a spot right now where Pittsburgh simply cannot afford to give up any more runs. They're trailing 4-0. They have 4 innings to hit. So Mason faces the first man that walks him. Here's Belliard stepping in. Belliard in the ballgame has bounced to the infield twice. The short in the 2nd and the 2nd in the 4th inning. He might try something like a hit and run with Lemke at first base. Mason ready. Tall, angular, waiting. And the pitch. Pitch out. Well, they were looking for the hit and run. It didn't happen. These are situations where with a pitcher to follow the number 8 batter, there's not a lot you could do as far as sacrifice is concerned. So oftentimes a manager will hit and run to advance the runner to second and stay away from the double play. Mason's been around a while, spent a lot of time in the minor leagues, fought his way up and down with Detroit, Giants, Houston, and made it with Pittsburgh middle of this season. There's a square around for the bunt, and Belliard takes it outside. 2-0 the count.
Belliard had squared to bunt on the pitch out, but watched it go by wide.
2 balls and no strikes. Mason, who is 33 years old, from Bel Air, Michigan. He said the other day when he saved that ball game, the 1-0 win by Pittsburgh, he said that his wife at home, the phone ran off the hook. Just kept ringing and ringing and ringing. Congratulating him for the great job. Or a 2-0 pitch, and there's a bunt that's foul behind the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Well, Smoltz has a hit in this series.
Got a stolen base, too.
Everything else has been working for him, even though the first outing he had was a struggle. And the Braves gave him great bat support in a 10-3 win. He has settled in pretty well. and struggling in the first couple of innings tonight.
They play Belliard way off to the right side, left center, big gaping hole between the center fielder Andy Van Slyke and the left fielder Barry Bonds. And Belliard dips in there again and waits. 2 balls, 1 strike. Buechele at third. Tight now. Merced holds against the runner at first. Lemke with a lead. Pitch on the way, and it's a fastball up and in. It goes to 3-1. Well, that's an interesting count. What do? Make him take? Let him hit? We'll find out. You can start the runner. And it looks as though the Pittsburgh bullpen is going to crank it up one more time. They have been busy all night long from the break to the count. Let's see if Lemke goes. Belliard waiting. Mark Lemke drifting off at first. Checks out the pitcher. There he goes. Pitch on the way. A looping foul coming back and out of play. And the count, it holds 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count.
Mason got his feet wet with the Detroit Tigers in 5 games in '84. They went to the National League, to Phoenix, up to San Francisco for 5 games in '85. 11 games with the Giants in '86. 5 more in '87. Was with Houston for only 2 ball games in '89. And then the Pirates for 24 games this year, his longest stint at the major league level.
There goes the runner again. Line drive, base hit to center field on the hit and run. And heading for third base goes Lemke. The throw is in time, and they get him. What a play by Andy Van Slyke, who was playing shallow, and Lemke nailed it third on a play that goes 8-5. And there, once again, John Rooney, is what happens when you don't have power. That outfield is playing so shallow, it's hard to advance to third on a play or score from second base if you're going from second.
Well, you think it's academic, Jerry, with the runner taking off on the pitch and a line shot into center field, that Lemke would have a great opportunity to take third. But Van Slyke hustled to the ball, threw a 1-hop strike to Buechele, who slapped the tag down, and the play goes 8-5.
Well, let's see what happens here with 1 down now. John Smoltz is coming on. He walked and struck out, and there goes Ray Miller, the pitching coach, to have a chat with Mason. Well, that's the second time that Lemke has taken off for third base, the second time he's been handled. The first time it might have cost the Braves dearly when Bobby Bonilla got a ball, missed the cutoff man Jose Lean, but fired it to the shortstop Bell, who turned around and got Lemke sliding into third. And here, with the center fielders looking at him, man, you can see it when he's running to second base. He took off in a play when he was out when he left second base. So, instead of having runners at first and second, nobody out, they have runner at first base and 1 down, and the pitcher hitting. Doug Harvey, the plate umpire, the senior man of this group, and the umpire-in-chief tonight, goes out and tells Ray, listen, we've had enough time. You've had enough to say, so let's move it. Smoltz up there right now. At first base, Rafael Belliard. Smoltz may bunt. We'll have to wait and see. Manager's choice, as they say. What does the manager want him to do?
Buechele's looking for it.
And there's the bunt attempt. It's fouled back. No balls, 1 strike, 1 down. A lot of people gave Bobby Cox all kinds of what for that 2-strike suicide squeeze. You know, really, if the hitter had been alert, that's the best time to do it if he throws the ball over the plate. Nobody's looking for it. And you knew that Tommy Glavine was going to hit a home run, or the worst he would do would be to pop up. He might hit into a double play. Not a bad call by Bobby Cox. It didn't work out in that case. The 1-strike pitch. And a bunt off the bat of Smoltz. That's foul. Well, that was a pretty good play by Lavalley. He picked the ball and tried to tag Smoltz all in one motion, but Belliard, who's got speed, was down at second base. And it might be that Smoltz will go all the way over the sacrifice. Not a bad play. Keep him off the bases. Just let him bunt himself away and then let Lonnie Smith do something. Managers now into the second half of the game want to protect their pitcher and his energy, his arm as well. Don't let him run a lot if they can help it.
Well, Smoltz pitched in the clinching game against Houston to win the National League West. He wants the decision in this one, and right now it's his 4-0.
Smoltz squared around, took outside the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
What I'm saying is Smoltz has worked the 5 innings with the lead to be eligible for the victory.
Yes, sir. You got to go 5, and he can get the win. But right now he wants to go 9 if he can do it. Smoltz waiting again. Mason sets. Belliard at first with the lead. Pitch on the way, and Smoltz bunts at it. This is a good one. What a dandy bunt on 2 strikes. Lavalier's up with it, fires to first. Smoltz is out of there, but Belliard in scoring position at second base. An excellent sacrifice by John Smoltz to advance the runner. And the play went 2-3. Make that 2-4.
Can't do any better than that, Jerry. He caught the ball with the bat, guided it up the first base line. It was deadened by the dirt before rolling onto the carpet about 20 feet up the first base line. LaValliere had an easy play to get the out at first base, but the job was done with 2 strikes with Belliard moving to second.
So now the Braves with a chance for another run. They lead 4-0. They've got a runner at second base, and here's Lonnie Smith stepping in, who walked and scored, bounced to first, and struck out. 0 for 2. Smith moving in there and waiting. At second base, Rafael Belliard. He started from first and was sacrificed to second, now trying to get in if he can do it. Lonnie Smith waits. Here's Mason. 4-0. Braves lead the final game of the National League Championship Series. And Smith takes inside, strike 1.
LaValliere was set up outside, and the fastball came over the inside corner.
Smith, a good fastball hitter, does not like off-speed stuff. That gives him some trouble. When he's looking fastball and he gets that changeup or breaking ball, he has trouble. Here's the 1-strike delivery on the way, and there's a curveball down. 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield gives Lonnie Smith a big chunk of left center. Here at Three River Stadium at Pittsburgh is 335 down the line and left and right, 375 to the alleys, 400 dead center, and a 10-foot wall. Mason fires, and Smith hits one high into right center field. Andy Van Slyke cruising after this one to his left. He has it for the 3rd out. Smith is gone, and so are the Braves after 5.5 innings of play. Atlanta 4, Pittsburgh nothing. To the last half of the 6th inning, with the Atlanta Braves leading the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-0. And this is the final game of the National League Championship Series on CBS Radio. Andy Van Slyke will lead it off for Pittsburgh, followed by Bobby Bonilla and Barry Bonds. And we have made a defensive change for the Atlanta Braves. Keith Mitchell has moved into play left field in place of Lonnie Smith. So in the 6th inning, Van Slyke, Bonilla, and Bonds, the 3 sluggers on this ball club, are coming up against John Smoltz, who has given up 3 hits, no runs, walked 1, and he struck out 5. And right now, the Pittsburgh Pirate fans, realizing this is the inning, they've got to make a move, are on their feet cheering the hometown heroes. And the first one is Andy Van Slyke, who lined to right and hit deep to center field. He's hit the ball well twice, but long flies have been dragged down first by Justice in right field and Gant in center. There's a high pop-up coming back and out of play, strike 1. Atlanta Braves got 3 runs on the first inning on a walk to Lonnie Smith, a single by Terry Pendleton, a sacrifice fly by Ron Gant for 1, and a 2-run homer by Brian Hunter, and they led 3-0. A walk with 2 down, an intentional pass, and a double by Hunter got another run in to make it 4-0. Here's a 1-strike pitch. A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. The line score, Atlanta 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. The Pirates, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. And the Braves are trying to become the first team since 1958 to get to the World Series. They lost in 69, and they lost again in 82. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Curve is high. 2 balls and a strike.
That's the first team to make it from the Atlanta Braves to the World Series.
That's right. Back in 1914, the Miracle Braves went all the way to win the World Series. Then in 48, they lost to Cleveland. 57, they beat the Yankees to win the World Championship, then lost to the Yankees in 58. Here's the 2-1 pitch coming up. Ground ball on the first base side. Hunter has it. He shovels it over to Smoltz on the cover. Good play, and they get him. And Van Slyke is out of there 3-1. One of the things you find on most of the Brave pitchers, the young pitchers, they're good fielders. They get over to cover that bag in a hurry. All right, here's Bobby Bonilla stepping in. Bonilla popped to second, bounced to first.
$46,932 the attendance tonight.
There's a drive off the bat of Bonilla into the waiting glove of the right fielder, David Justice. Well hit, but Justice standing. Oh, yeah, he caught the ball, then lost it as he tried to throw it. And the umpire down the line, Bruce Fleming, waved Bonilla out. Well, that's fair. If you got control of the ball and you reach for it and it doesn't work, they'll give you the out, and they did right then and there.
Jerry, didn't the rule used to state that an outfielder had to discard the ball cleanly to the throwing hand before it's an actual out?
Yeah, he had to arbitrarily get rid of it. If he ran with the ball 20 feet and it dropped out of his glove without trying to get rid of it, it'd be an error. A ball would be in play. But when he reached for it and didn't get a good hold of it trying to throw it in, then it becomes an out. That's a call by the umpire, and Bruce Fleming, sitting on top of it, said, yeah, you got the out. 2 down as Barry Bonds steps in. Bonds has a 1-0 count. Bonds bounced to second. Double to left field. Saw a strange play in Atlanta, just like that. Outfielder caught a ball, kept running and running and running to the fence. Dropped the ball as he jumped over the fence. There's a high fly ball on the left side. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. The ball was in play because he had not voluntarily tried to release the ball. He just had it in his glove, and when he jumped over the wall, it dropped out of his glove, and the ball was in play, and Gene Richards got an inside the park home run. Here's the pitch on the way, a chopper to the shortstop. Belliard on a half hop makes the play, throw to first. Bonds is out of there, and the Pittsburgh Pirates are down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning with only 3 innings to go after 6 full innings of play. It's Atlanta 4, Pittsburgh nothing.
We are moving to the top half of inning 7 in Game 7 of the National League Championship Series. The Braves need to record 9 more outs, and they will earn their trip to Minneapolis. A few insurance runs wouldn't hurt either. Terry Pendleton, Ronnie Gant, and David Justice to up here in the top half of the 7th against Roger Mason, who is completing his warm-ups. How many comebacks can you think of that this Braves team made this year? 9.5 games down at the All-Star break. The Otis Nixon suspension. Braves overcame that, having to go on the road while the Dodgers were at home down the stretch, and Atlanta going on the road, winning all 6 games, coming from behind to win 3 of them, falling behind in this series 3-2, coming back to Pittsburgh, tying it up in the Avery game last night, and now 3 innings away perhaps from a World Series in Atlanta. The first pitch to Pendleton, high and outside, ball 1. Terry 1 for 3, a single back in the 1st inning. He scored on Brian Hunter's home run. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a high chopper out to second. It'll be fielded by Chico Lean to throw on to first. Close play, but in time. Pendleton retired, 1 gone in the 7th inning, and now Ronnie Gant, who drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 1st inning, singled in the 3rd, walked and stole his 7th base of this league championship series to extend the record he set last night. There have been 16 bases stolen in this series by the Pirates and Braves combined. That's also a new record. Here's the wind by Mason, the pitch to Gant, a strike right down the middle, 0-1. We want to send along our best wishes to Harley Bowers, who for many years has covered sports for the Macon Daily Telegraph. He faces some surgery tomorrow. Couldn't be here for the concluding games of the League Championship Series, and all of his friends here want to wish him well. 0-2 the count as Gant fouls away the 0-1 pitch.
Harley's a good man, and like every fan in Atlanta, wishes he could be here tonight, and is really eaten up inside that he doesn't have a chance to be here.
Now the wind by Mason, the 0-2 pitch. There's a line drive hit deep to right center field by Gant. Van Slyke on the run. Also coming over is Bonilla, and a sliding catch out in right center field by Andy Van Slyke, who nearly collided with Bonilla. In fact, they looked like a couple of synchronized swimmers when they passed each other, each sliding out there in right center field, but Andy Van Slyke made the catch. And 2 men are gone in the 7th inning. Two gone. David Justice, the batter, is struck out, fly to left, and was walked intentionally in the 5th inning. 0 for 2. The wind by Mason, the pitch on the way to Justice. Taken low, ball 1. Braves leading it 4-0. 2 outs, base is empty in the top half of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, swung on and missed. At the split-fingered pitch, the count 1-1. One of the reasons Mason is so effective against left-hand hitters is that split-finger fastball. You'll recall Jim Leland in Game 5 elected to leave Mason in, even when the Braves having a bevy of lefties coming up. Pitch to Justice, hit on the ground to first, fielded by Merced. He'll run to the bag in time. And the Braves go 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. Nothing doing for Atlanta at the end of 6.5. No change in our scores. Still the Braves 4 and the Pirates nothing. We move along to the bottom half of the 7th inning. John Smoltz working on a 3-hit shutout in this decisive 7th game of the National League Championship Series. A trip to Minneapolis awaits the winner. And the World Series begins at the Metrodome on Saturday night. Steve Buechele, Mike LaValliere, Jose Lind due up here in the bottom of the 7th. Buechele 0 for 2 tonight. He has struck out and popped to first. Smoltz has had excellent control in this game. He's walked only 1. He has struck out 5. He has retired the last 7 Pirate hitters he's faced, including a 1-2-3 6th inning going to the heart of the order. Van Slyke, Bonilla, and Bonds. Here's the wind by Smoltz, the pitch. Fastball high, ball 1. The wind again by Smoltz, and a 1-0 pitch on the way. Taken for a strike in the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Incredibly, during the 7th inning stretch, it appeared that a lot of these Pirate fans were heading for the exits already.
That apparently is the case. Don Sutton took a look at the parking lot, and it's starting to fill up.
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. The count 1-2 on Buechele.
That's hard to believe. I mean, I know the Pirates haven't given up, and 4-0. The game isn't over, but a lot of their fans think it is.
The look in by Smoltz. The right-hander winds, and a 1-2 pitch on the way to Buechele. Swung on, missed, strike 3. That's a half dozen strikeouts for John Smoltz. And that's 8 in a row set down now. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. And here's Mike LaValliere, who has walked and reached on Lemke's error. The sign given by Olson. The wind by Smoltz. The first pitch on the way to LaValliere. There's a line drive into center field. It is going to be trapped by Ronnie Gant. He tried to make a diving catch out there, but second base umpire Dana DeMuth right on top of the play. And it was very evident that Gant trapped that ball. So give LaValliere a base hit. Hit number 4 of the game for the Pirates. A runner at first with 1 out. And here's Jose Lind, who is grounded out to third and hit into a force play. They are not holding LaValliere at first. Smoltz stretches and delivers a strike at the knees, 0-1. Curtis Wilkerson was in the on-deck circle. Now he's gone back. Roger Mason has come out there, but I don't think you're going to see Mason hit. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Low. 1 ball, 1 strike. One out, a runner at first. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Braves leading it 4-0. A count of 1 ball, 1 strike on Lind. LaValliere getting a good lead because he's not being held. A quick look over, and the pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. It's 1-2. It looks like Stan Belinda throwing now in the Pirate bullpen. The stretch by Smoltz. And the 1-2 on the way. Ground ball to third by Pendleton. Backhanded now by Belliard. Goes to second and still got Mike LaValliere. That ball ticked off Pendleton's glove. Rafael Belliard, about 6 steps behind the line, made a backhanded grab, fired a strike to Lemke, and was still able to get LaValliere, who had a good lead. We told you he wasn't being held. So 2 are out now with a runner at first, and now Curtis Wilkerson will pinch hit. He is 0 for 3 in this series. He'll bat for Roger Mason. With 2 outs, a runner at first in the 7th. Braves up 4-0. Here's the stretch by Smoltz. And the pitch on the way to Wilkerson popped foul. Back on a play 0-1. They aren't holding Lind either. If the Pirates want to steal a base, they can go ahead. A 4-run lead. Smoltz paying very little attention to the runner. Just a quick peek over. The pitch on the way to Wilkerson. It fouled off to the right, 0-2. Wilkerson batting left-handed against Smoltz. Braves have 4 runs, 6 hits. The Pirates, no runs, 4 hits. 2 outs in the bottom half of the 7th inning. We can hear the chant starting again in the upper deck. Here's the look toward first by Smoltz. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Just missed outside with a breaking ball. 1-2. The stretch again by Smoltz. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss and a fastball. Strike 3. Smoltz records his 7th strikeout, and that's all for the Pirates in the 7th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. We've completed 7 innings in Game 7 with our score. Atlanta 4, Pittsburgh nothing.
Pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
You're listening to the Braves Drive for the Pennant.
WKHX FM, WKHX Marietta, Atlanta.
Kicks 101.5.
Well, Jerry Coleman, John Rooney in Pittsburgh. The Pirates are calling on their 4th pitcher of the game. John Smiley went 2/3 of an inning. Bob walked 4 1/3. Smiley allowed 3 runs, walked 1 run. Roger Mason worked 2 scoreless innings, allowing 1 hit, no walks or strikeouts. And now Stan Belinda is appearing in his 3rd ball game. He has worked 3 innings with a 1-0 record. No hits, no runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And Belinda will pitch to Brian Hunter, Greg Olson, and Mark Lemke in the 8th inning. Jerry?
Well, of all the Pittsburgh Pirates men coming out of the bullpen, Belinda has the fire. He's got the firepower. Good, hard fastball. And he's going to be facing Brian Hunter to start. Greg Olson after him, then Mark Lemke. 4-0. Atlanta leads. We're in the 8th inning. 2 more innings for Pittsburgh to try to catch up, and a couple of innings for the Atlanta Braves to try to get more runs. Belinda is a 4th pitcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pitch on the way, and Belinda fires a fastball, fouled back by Hunter. John Smiley started the game for Pittsburgh and had a terrible outing again. In 2/3 of an inning, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs, and that pretty much is a ball game right there. That happened in the 1st inning. He walked 1, he struck out 1. Bob walking 4 1/3, gave up 2 hits and a run. He walked 3, struck out 3. Roger Mason, 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, a walk and no strikeouts, and now Stan Belinda, the right-hander. Curveball hit high in the air behind 3rd. Going back into shallow left field is Jay Bell. Coming on is Barry Bonds, who takes it away for the 1st out, and Hunter's gone in the 8th inning. 1 up and 1 down.
With Hunter's stolen base, it's a new National League Championship Series record for most stolen bases in a series by both clubs at 16, beating the 15 the Mets and Dodgers had in 1988. And with Pittsburgh's 35th National League Championship Series game, that's a new record, passing the Dodgers, who played in 34 in 7 series.
All right, Belinda now going after Greg Olson, who singled, popped to center, struck out, and the pitch is on the corner for a strike. Belinda has what you would call a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball. If he gets it in the spot, he sort of side wheels to the right-hand batters. Rather tough to follow. The star of the game right now, Brian Hunter, a 2-run homer in the 1st and a double that drove in the 3rd run for him in the 5th inning. And the 4th run for the Atlanta Braves. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down.
And Atlanta win tonight, Jerry, gives the NL West 4 straight flags.
Well, the World Series is just around the corner, and the Braves are creeping up on it. Here's a 1-1 pitch. There's a looping foul on the right side, a ball and 2 strikes.
St. Louis was the most recent East team to win the National League pennant, 1987. The Dodgers won in 88, the Giants in 89, the Reds last year.
All right, here comes Greg Olson waiting now. A 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. Don't forget, Saturday at 8:07 Eastern Daylight Time, Game 1 of the World Series from Minnesota. They still call that place the Homer Dome?
The Metrodome.
Well, yeah, but I mean, balls fly out of there, you know.
See, that's the brainwashing you get over in the National League, Jerry. My goodness.
I saw that park. I could hit a home run in that park on one of my better days.
If you're batting left-handed, it's a better, easier poke, that is, to right field than down the left field line.
You know the best thing about that park?
It's inside.
Got a cover on it. That's right. At this time of year, anyway. 3-2 the count.
I'm telling you, the National League winner won't think so the first couple of ball games with all the noise in that place.
And it's hard to find. Isn't that the sort of a light-covered dome that makes it hard for the outfielders to pick up the ball?
Very tough to get used to, even for those American League teams coming in there 2 times a year.
All right, Greg Olson now has run the count 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down and nobody on in the 8th inning. Braves leading 4-0 as Stan Belinda, the 4th pitcher for Pittsburgh, deals, and there's another foul back. So Belinda doesn't get cute. He just reaches back and fires a fastball, especially when he's in a 3-2 count or behind in the count. He doesn't want to get tricky. He'll throw a curveball if he has the edge in this strike situation, like 1 ball, 2 strikes. But when he's behind or even, he goes with that fastball.
No, Jerry, in the early going of the Metrodome, it was the Homer Dome before they put the air conditioning in. It would really get hot in there, and the ball would jump out. And they've also extended a curtain in right field to make the fence higher from the right field line over into deep right center. And it's a good hitter's park is what it is. Kirby Puckett likes to hit there because he has a nice background, and many hitters who come into the Dome like it. Of course, you'll get an argument from some others in the American League. But it has been a great hitter's park, especially for the Twins, who had the best home record in baseball in '87 and put together a great record this season in winning the American League.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down as Olson waits. And the pitch by Belinda coming up, almost hit him. It's inside, ball 4, and down to first base he heads. So Greg Olson gets a 1-out base on balls here in the 8th inning, and that'll bring up Mark Lemke, the switcher. He'll be up there left-handed. Lemke has bounced to short, to second, and got a base on balls.
If it is the Braves, Jerry, I'll really be interested to see how the Twins hitters handle these good Braves pitchers.
Well, sometimes when you take them out of their natural habitat, shall we say, it's hard to work, and they may have a little bit of a shock going into the Metrodome in Minnesota. That's a tough park to play in because of the noise reaction.
Well, it was funny, in '87, the Twins had a shock going to St. Louis to Busch Stadium.
Pitch on the way to Lemke, hit high in the air to left field. Barry Bonds drifting toward the line, back about 10 steps. Waits for it, grabs it. And holding at first base is Greg Olson for the 2nd out here in the 8th inning. 2 down, runner at first. That'll bring up Rafael Belliard.
The '87 series marked the only time a team won the World Series by winning all of its home games.
That was amazing. The Cardinals won their 3 at home, and Twins won their 4, the first 2 and the last 2 at home. And it was quite a unique thing. And although the Cardinals players tried to discount it, I think it was a major factor in the fact that the Twins just blew them away. You got a better ball club this year in Minnesota than then?
I think so. Tom Kelly thinks so.
Okay, well, he's the guy I ought to know. Here's a pitch on the way to Belliard. It's a curve outside for ball 1.
This team gets along as well as that team did in 1987. But that was one. That team only won 85 games to win the division. Lost the last 5 before going to the League Championship Series, and then beat Detroit in 5 games, and then beat St. Louis in the full 7.
Well, we got Gumby has found its way onto the field in right field for the 2nd or 3rd day. And that is removed very rapidly. One of the things that happens when you get a pitcher on the mound who's concentrating on whatever rhythm he has or the count or the sequence, and you get something like that, it really stops the flow, and it's hard for the pitcher to pick it up again. So Belinda now will go after Rafael Belliard with a 1-0 count, 2 down, a runner at first base. And the batter behind Belliard is John Smoltz. Here's the pitch by Belinda. Inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
A key deal for the Twins since 1987 was the Frank Viola trade. Getting David West, Rick Aguilera coming over from the New York Mets. And Aguilera has been a great stopper. And then Kevin Tapani was very big down the line in the second half of the season, helping the Twins win.
Belliard takes a strike, 2-1. And
so all 3 are on the roster, Jerry, with Viola going over to the Mets.
Who wants to leave the Mets, I understand, according to the paper reports. But Aguilera, now, what did he say, 46? He's up there in the 40 someplace. We got a number on him? He did a pretty good job. I know Lee Smith had 46 in the National. Here's a pitch on the way now, and Belliard takes it for a strike. 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We are in the top of the 8th inning. 4-0 Atlanta. Pittsburgh has 6 outs to try to turn this around. The 2-2 pitch as Belinda fires away, and Belliard loops it on the right field side into the seats and out of play down by the bullpen. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Aguilera had 42. Brian Harvey 42. Of California saved 46, and Eckersley was in between at 43.
Harvey came from nowhere. Didn't he have a year?
Boy, he had a great year. He hit. The batters tell me, Jerry, that Harvey's hard forkball, that hard split finger pitch, is about as tough as any pitcher to hit.
All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down, runner at first base. Belinda again. He is the 4th pitcher for Pittsburgh, trying to hold things in, and there's a foul back again by Belinda. I'll tell you, Rafael Belliard is taking some pretty good cuts up there. He's got himself a base hit in the 6th inning. He bounced to second in the 4th and to short in the 2nd. He is 4 for 19 in this playoffs. So in the playoffs, Belliard doing himself pretty good. He is not a big hitter, doesn't hit for power, but that play that he made that knocked off Lavalier at second base, who knows what that might have saved. Here's Belinda again, and the 2-2 delivery. Drive foul again. So Belliard and Belinda are playing quite a game out there. This has been an exciting series. This game, along with the first game, probably the least exciting at this moment of the 7 games.
Because that 1-10-3 game still had a lot of excitement when the Pirates loaded the bases.
And the home run came after that. A base hit there could have brought the Bucs right back into it. Here's a 2-2 delivery again as Belinda delivers, and there's a foul back again by Belliard and Belinda having a little contest up there. Mano-mano, one-on-one to see what can happen. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Something that's as interesting to me as the Twins winning all their home games to win the World Series is the fact that the Twins went from last place last year to first and won the American League, and the Atlanta Braves are about to do the same thing, coming from the NL West to the National League pennant and on into the World Series.
And the amazing part, it's never been done before, and twice in 1 year. Pitch on the way now to Belliard, high and outside, 3-2. From last to first. Never happened. The Twins did it first. Braves trying to match that one and go into the World Series. Don't forget Saturday night, 8 or 7 Eastern time on the CBS Radio Network. We'll be with you with all the action. Johnny Bench, Vince Scully, and John Rooney will tell you what's going on. 3-2 the count. There goes the runner. Outside ball 4, and Belliard gets a walk. Second walk given up by Belinda, and that'll bring up John Smoltz. So you got the right man coming up if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates. You got the pitcher coming up against a hard-throwing right-hander with runners at first and second, 2 down in the 8th inning. Smoltz walked, struck out, laid down a sacrifice bunt.
Well, National League fans will be familiar with Chili Davis, who played with the Giants, Shane Mack, who played with your Padres, Mike Pagliarulo, who before playing with the Padres was with the Yankees, but he did have a stint with San Diego.
All right, Smoltz waits on the pitch. A fastball inside, ball one. Belinda now getting a little bit erratic out there. Can't find the plate. Nobody goes out to talk to him.
Another player is Brian Harper, who was with these Pittsburgh Pirates, St. Louis Cardinals, among others, and he hit better than 300 for the Minnesota Twins. Newcomer, though, is Chuck Knobloch. Real feisty second baseman. Top contender for American League Rookie of the Year.
Played in Double-A a year ago. Not bad to make that jump over Triple-A ball right into the big leagues and have a spanking season. Boy, he's done a great job.
But he fit right in, right along with Jack Morris and Chili Davis. 3 huge additions to the Twins club from a year ago.
Here's the pitch on the way to Smoltz, and it's outside 2. Now, the reason we're spending some time talking here is that Belinda's taking a lot of time in between pitches. He's been very erratic. He's walked 2 men, and now he falls behind Smoltz 2-0. And behind Smoltz is Keith Mitchell. He'll be batting for Lonnie Smith. Went into the ball game defensively. He'll be up for the first time in the 8th inning if he gets up for the 9th inning. There's a fastball that finds the plate. This time to Smoltz, and the count 2 balls, 1 strike.
I heard some people today talking about a possible sweep of the Twins. One thing I think that will keep it from being a sweep, and that's the composure of Steve Avery.
Boy, isn't he something? And the 2-1 delivery. Swung on a miss, 2-2. So Bill Landrum, a right-hander, and Bob Patterson, a left-hander, are going in the Pittsburgh bullpen. In fact, tonight, from the very first inning, except for a couple of middle innings when Walk was in there, they've had people in the bullpen all night long, and still they're trailing 4-0. They've got 2 more at-bats in the 8th and 9th innings to try to make it up. Swing and a miss by Smoltz, and that's all. Belinda blows it by him. Atlanta's gone after 7.5 innings of play. Atlanta 4, Pittsburgh nothing.
Well, Jerry Coleman, the line from the Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home, but you couldn't sell that to either one of these teams, with Atlanta losing a couple of games at Fulton County Stadium, and the Pirates are in danger of dropping the last 2 here and dropping the National League flag to Atlanta.
You know what it really says right now, looking at John Smoltz out there coming out for the 8th inning, is that pitching so dominates the game. It's incredible. You get an Avery and a Smoltz, and Pittsburgh has not scored in the last 16 innings in these last 2 games here in Pittsburgh. They've been closed out completely.
Overall, that's 25 scoreless innings at Three River Stadium for the Pirates, 20 overall.
Wow. Here's Orlando Merced stepping in, 1 for 3, going after John Smoltz. Bucs trying to get on the board any way they can. The pitch. It's a fastball. It's high for ball 1. In the bullpen for the Atlanta Braves, Mike Stanton, the left-hander, and the right-hander Alejandro Pena are going a mile a minute, just in case. This is the inning that manager Bobby Cox wants from his right-hander. 2-0 the count now to Merced.
Now, Jerry, if the Pittsburgh Pirates are to come back and win the National League flag, Ray Miller used to be the pitching coach and the manager of the Minnesota Twins. He knows all about that dome.
Here's a 2-0 pitch coming up, and it's in there for a strike. Bobby Cox, the manager of the Atlanta Braves, would feel very, very easy going into the 9th inning with a 4-run lead. But if they have that lead here in the 8th, it's going to be tighter. There's a drive into center field. Coming on fast is Gant, holding his ground now. He grabs it for the out. And Merced has hit the ball on the button 4 times tonight. Man, he's hit the ball hard. This time into the waiting glove of Ron Gant in center field, a rocket that was out.
He has a 1 for 4 to show for it.
Jay Bell steps in, singled in his first at-bat, then struck out in the 3rd and the 5th inning. So there's 1 down. Last half of the 8th inning. Bell the batter, and here's Smoltz into the windup. And the pitch outside for the fastball. Still good stuff. It's a matter of whether he can control that stuff. Smoltz has struck out 7. He's given up 4 hits and no runs thus far. Here's the pitch on the way, and Smoltz watches that one sail outside. It's 2-0 as John just couldn't find the corner. Jay Bell standing in there, ahead in the count, 2-0. Second batter in a row that Smoltz has gone 2-0. And Smoltz right now appears to be rushing a little bit. Instead of just getting that nice, easy tempo, he's trying to go at those hitters too quickly. Here's a 2-0 pitch, fired on the way, and it's 3-0 outside. Well, the big guys are coming up.
And Bell has had a good series at the plate, Jerry. 11 hits in 28 at-bats.
3 balls, no strikes. Bell waits, pitch on the way. In there for a strike, 3-1. Right now, Smoltz would do well just to throw fastballs down the middle and make Bell hit the ball rather than put him on. The 3-1 delivery. Smoltz kicks, deals, and the pitch is in there, strike 2, and that's what he's doing. So Smoltz, who went 3-0 on Jay Bell, now closes the gap to 3-2. Bell digging in, straight up and down stance. Smoltz is ready. The right-hander into the windup. Here's the pitch coming up, and there's a ground ball in the hole. Belliard can't handle it. It goes into left field for a base hit. Base hit number 12 for Jay Bell in the series.
Now a long ball, and that lead is cut in half, Jerry.
Well, the big guys are coming in. Andy Van Slyke, Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds. And the Pittsburgh fans once again on their feet, trying to pull their guys across the board. Let's see what happens. Van Slyke lined deep to right field, flew out deep to center field, bounced to first. At first base, Jay Bell with Hunter playing behind him. They pitch on the way by Smoltz. Curveball in there for strike 1. The line score, Atlanta 4 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. The Pirates no runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Outfield swings right, waiting. Infield the same. They're not playing in double play depth at all. They want to get 1 out at a time. Here's the pitch on the way to Van Slyke. Ground ball foul. Kicks off into the stands on the count. No balls at 2 strikes. In this case, manager Bobby Cox said, okay, get back, guys. Never mind the double play. Let's get 1 out at a time. So the infield playing way back, way out of double play position. The first baseman, Hunter, playing behind the runner, Jay Bell, at first. And the third baseman, Pendleton, off the line and behind the bag by 10 feet. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Big curve is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Van Slyke came so close to making it a 3-3 game in the first inning, hitting it to the wall. Caught by Justice against the wall in right field.
Smoltz now fighting to get rid of this 8th inning. If he can do it, he's into the set position, kicks and delivers. Foul back, and Van Slyke caught on the fist, got a piece of it, and that was it.
I was mentioning to Ray Miller, he came to Minnesota as manager of the Twins from a pitching coach job with Baltimore, and then came over here as pitching coach, so he has experience with the Dome. Doug Graybeck was a pitcher with the Yankees before coming to the Pirates. So anyway, it's going to be interesting starting Saturday night, and right now the Braves have the edge, 4-0.
All right, Smoltz at the set again. Pitch on the way to Van Slyke. Swung on and missed, and he struck him out. Wow, a big strikeout for John Smoltz on a slider. He gets Andy Van Slyke, and here comes Bobby Bonilla.
Got him on a pitch in the dirt, and that's 8 strikeouts for John Smoltz.
So Van Slyke is gone. Here's Bonilla stepping in. 2 down, runner at first base. Bobby Bonilla, 0 for 3. Left-hand hitter, a switch hitter, batting left-handed against the right-handed Smoltz. Takes high and outside for ball 1. Smoltz trying to come up with a complete game victory if he can do it. Braves lead 4-0, 2 out, last half of the 8th inning. Runner at first base, Bonilla waits, and the pitch a little bit low. 2 balls and no strikes.
The Pirates are down to 4 outs left.
This has been one of the truly great series in National League Championship play. Outstanding. Tight games. 4 of them had just sitting on the edge of your seats all night long, and before this is over, who knows? Here's a 2-0 pitch coming up. It's on the way, and Bonilla hits it into right center field, going back to second baseman Lemke. Over the shoulder, can't get it. It drops over his head into right field, and the ball is thrown away, but out to grab it is Smoltz. There are runners at first and third. 2 down. Here comes the man who's been shackled all through the series, Barry Bonds.
If there was ever a time for Barry Bonds to do something big for the Pirates, this has to be it.
So Bonds, who has been just stymied throughout this entire series, has 4 hits in 26 trips and no RBIs, is stepping up.
Oh, could he change the complexion of this game, Jerry?
Bonds with the power. 25 home runs, 116 RBIs this year waiting. Here's Smoltz in the pitch. High fly ball, left center field. A routine play for Keith Mitchell, backing up. He's under and he grabs it for the out. So Bonds is gone, and so is Pittsburgh. After 8 full innings of play, Atlanta 4, Pittsburgh 0.
Just 1 inning, 6 outs separate the Atlanta Braves from Minnesota. And the 1991 World Series Game 1 will be on Saturday. The Braves lead it 4-0. And before we play the 9th, let's pause for station identification on the Atlanta Braves Baseball Network.
Waffle House, open 24 hours every day. Stop by your neighborhood Waffle House today for the friendliest service in town. Waffle House says, Tomahawk 'em Braves. AM 750 WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
Send up the top of the order: Keith Mitchell, Terry Pendleton, and then Ronnie Gant. And if anybody reaches David Justice against Stan Belinda. Braves with a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. It would take catastrophe at this point to prevent the Braves from that treasured plane flight on to Minneapolis later on tonight. And the Braves made quick work of John Smiley to start the game. That's been the key. They got 3 runs in the first inning, another run in the 5th. That's been it. The hits are even at 6. Braves have committed the only error. And the die-hard group of Braves fans in the first base side, the upper deck, making all sorts of noise as this place begins to very slowly, but very certainly, thin out. Pirate fans are heading for home. They think this is a lost cause for their team. First pitch to Mitchell. Cut on and missed for strike 1. Mitchell hitting in place of Lonnie Smith, who went 0 for 3 tonight, but walked in the first inning and scored the Braves' first run. Here's the pitch. Another swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Buried in your imagination was a World Series when we started this 1991 season. There's a little looper off first base, foul ground. Merced over near the stands, but it's about 5 rows in. Still 0-2 on Keith Mitchell. And what were your thoughts when we boarded that bus, leaving Atlanta down 3-2 in this series, headed for Pittsburgh, having to win 2 in this building in order to make it to the World Series? And what are they now? Here comes the pitch. Just outside, 1-2. This has been an extraordinary experience to follow this ball club every single day. Through all of the hardships and the spectacular moments, the great comebacks Pete spoke of. The 1-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. Keith Mitchell down. Striking out to start the 9th inning. The getting into first place on the 17th of May, posting a winning month for the first time since 1987. Dropping out of first place, going on that extended losing streak on an East Coast trip, and losing David Justice and Sid Bream at the same time. Here's Terry Pendleton, who's 1 for 4. He lofts a foul back off to the left. It's 0-1. Then falling 9.5 back at the All-Star break. And everyone writing the Dodgers were on their way. And then maybe the turning point in the season, those first 4 games right after the All-Star break, immediately after the break. The 0-1 missing inside. It's 1-1. When the Braves won 4 straight, the Dodgers lost 4 straight, and suddenly the race was on again. Then the battle down to the wire through the months of August and September and early October. The pitch cut on and missed. Wicked swing by Pendleton. And the count goes to 1-2. 1 down, base is empty. Of 6 in a row on the road, coupled by the 2 over Houston at home, as the Braves came from behind to beat the Dodgers and clinch on that glorious Saturday. There's a foul ball out of play. Still 2-2 on Terry Pendleton, the MVP candidate, who has played such a vital role in the resurgence of baseball in Atlanta. It's almost as if the sport has been born again in our town, and this veteran from St. Louis, along with Sid Bream and many others, was the man who helped bring it. The 2-2 fouled upstairs right over our heads, and Pendleton keeps fouling him away. Ronnie Gant on deck. Who will ever forget the Francisco Cabrera home run off of Rob Dibble in that improbable 9th inning? Braves won that game in 13, but only after Cabrera just destroyed a Rob Dibble fastball for a 3-run homer to tie it. And then against the same pitcher in the same stadium, David Justice, capping that amazing Brave comeback. There's a line drive deep to left, but Bonds was playing back, and he's there and puts it away. There are 2 down in the Brave 9th inning. How many of you that night in Cincinnati, when Atlanta got down 6-0 to Jose Rio, no less, how many of you really believed the Braves were going to come back and win that game? By that point in the season, I think quite a few did, because you came to believe in the dream, and that's really what this season has been. And when David Justice hit that deep fly ball over the right field fence to cap that 7-6 victory, what were your feelings that night? This pitch outside to Ronnie Gant, ball 1. Ronnie's had a pretty good night. He's 1 for 2. He's scored a run. He's stolen a base. He's driven in a run. Here comes the pitch. That's outside. 2-0. Hitting .269 for the series. David Justice on deck, but there are 2 out and nobody aboard. 4-0 Atlanta in the 9th, and the pitch missed inside with a fastball. It's 3-0. In this series, 1 for the ages. This really has been a classic. 3 1-0 ball games. The pitch right down the middle. 3-1. 4 one-run games. Belinda stretches and fires, and it's cut on and missed. Ronnie practically screwed himself into the ground taking that cut, and it's 3-2. Gant has set a National League Championship Series record with 7 stolen bases in this series. He's taken 6 of those here in Pittsburgh, and more than made up for Otis Nixon's lost speed. The stretch and the full count pitch. There's a line drive out to second on 2 hops, fielded by Lean. He throws on to first for the out, and the Braves go 1-2-3 in their half of the 9th inning. We move to the last of the 9th now in Pittsburgh. It may be, for the good fans of the Pirates, the last 3 outs they'll see of their baseball team. The Braves trying to advance on to the World Series. We head to the last of the 9th. It's Atlanta 4 and the Pirates nothing. The Atlanta Braves Tigers trying to assure themselves their dream season of 1991 will continue. Last half of the ninth inning coming up. The Braves on top 4-0. John Smoltz has been tremendous. He is throwing a 6-hit shutout. And Steve Buechele, Mike LaValliere, and Jose Lind are all that separate he and the Braves from a trip to the World Series. Incredible as that sounds at this point to a lot of folks around the country, that's how close the Atlanta Braves are. Losers of 97 games last year, buried in last place a season ago, and here they are, just 3 outs away from a trip to the Fall Classic. Here comes the first one to Buechele, and it's high for ball 1. The Pirate third baseman 0 for 3. He has struck out, popped out, and struck out again. So Smoltz has had him nailed to the plate. The 1-0 pitch is up high. 2-0. For Atlanta, 4 runs, 6 hits, and an error. For the Pirates, no runs, 6 hits, and no errors. And Terry Pendleton pays another visit to the mound to chat with John Smoltz. Pendleton, the only man on the field right now for the Atlanta Braves who has ever experienced a World Series. That leaves 8 guys who've never been, but are dying to go. The 2-0 pitch, a strike call. 2-1 to Buechele as he's taking. Buechele has a good eye. You've got to throw him strikes. The 2-1. Cut on and miss. And it's 2-2. Many of the fans here in Pittsburgh who remained are on their feet, but they're not making much noise. I think they sense their fate. The 2-2. Swung on and missed for strike 3, or did he get it? Did he get a little piece? He did. Buechele got a little tiny piece and fouled it off at the plate. And Olsen not hanging on there, so the count remains at 2-2. Smoltz was so close to whiffing this guy and getting it down to 2 outs. Now he'll try again. The 2-2 home. Foul back right to the screen. Spanky LaValliere on deck. 4-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the ninth in Game 7. And the 2-2 pitch. There's a high fly ball to center. Routine play for Gant. He's underneath it, and he clinches it for the out. The Atlanta Braves are 2 outs away from the World Series. That'll bring up LaValliere. And Pete, my guess is at times over the last 16 years, you thought you'd never get here.
And I can tell you somebody else who's got to have some emotions going through him right now is Ted Turner down in that front row behind the Braves dugout.
There's a foul ball by LaValliere off to the third base side for strike 1.
When he bought the Atlanta Braves in January of 1976, I'm not sure Ted knew exactly what a World Series was. But he said he's going to get the Braves there someday. And there were a few false turns along the road to get Atlanta there, but his dream may be coming true tonight.
The 0-1 pitch misses high to LaValliere. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. The Pirate catcher is 1 for 2. He's reached on an error and singled. He's also walked. A chunky left-hand hitter. Smoltz winds and the 1-1 home. Hit high in the air, right center field. Easy play for David Justice. Into the gap. He waits and takes it. That's out number 2. Atlanta 1 out away from the World Series. And Jose Lind is the batter. The light-hitting second baseman, 0 for 3 in the game. Smoltz taking a deep breath behind the mound. Now he climbs up on top of the rubber. Lind waits. Base is empty. 2 men out in the pitch. Fouled away off to the right side for strike 1. Call it what you will. Destiny, serendipity, fate. Some might even imply it's divine intervention. Or simply a reaffirmation of that old baseball rule that good pitching always beats good hitting. Here the Atlanta Braves are 2 strikes away from going to the World Series, and it's swung on and missed by Lind. 0-2. The Braves are 1 strike away from the World Series. Smoltz stares into Olsen. Gets his sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fouled away at home plate. Lean hangs in there. Atlanta is about to explode. And we'll hear it here in Pittsburgh. The kick and the 0-2 pitch. There's a bouncer to first, fielded by Hunter. He races to the bag, and the Atlanta Braves have won the National League Championship. Strap on your dancing shoes. We're headed for the big ball, Atlanta. And John Smoltz is being mobbed out on the field. The Atlanta Braves, in 7 incredible games, have won the National League Championship here in Pittsburgh tonight. The final score, Atlanta 4, the Pirates nothing. And we're headed for the World Series. What an incredible year. And the Braves have done it, defying every odd that was ever put up on that board against them. And tonight, doing it again with pitching. They shut down the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-0 to earn a trip to Minnesota and the October Classic beginning on Saturday night. This is a sight that lifelong Braves fans thought they'd never see, and here it is being played out before them in Pittsburgh. The Braves are now racing off the field, knowing full well what they've accomplished has shook up the world, as Ronnie Gant said after the Braves clinched the National West title. And now they're going to try to shake up the world one more time by beating Minnesota in the World Series. The Braves are now filing off the field. Terry Pendleton high-fiving everyone with a hand, waving his cap in the air. Ronnie Gant gets a hug. Steve Avery being mobbed. Bobby Cox, who today was voted Manager of the Year by the Associated Press. And who else could it have been, walking off the field with flashbulbs firing off in his face? The Atlanta Braves are champions of the National League. They downed the Pittsburgh Pirates 4-3 in 7 great games. You tip your cap to the Pirates because they were terrific competition. But now it's on to the only series that really counts, the World Series. Game 1 will be Saturday night in Minnesota inside the Dome. And the Braves will have tomorrow to celebrate this miraculous achievement. They have won the National League title. Final score here tonight, Atlanta 4, the Pirates nothing. And we will wrap it up